mucus-free. We are 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 mucus-free.
What's going on, brothers and sisters? Welcome to yet another episode of the Mucus-Free Life podcast, and a very, very special episode because today we will have the largest panel that we've ever had on this platform today, and we will be talking about Ehret Day celebration, 6th annual 2024. It went down last weekend, and the weekend went by so quickly that I feel like we should still be in Ehret Day now. But this is the best we could do, is get on here and broadcast together. And basically, we like to extend the Ehret Day love as long as possible. And we will be sharing stories and pictures and experiences and insights and takeaways and realizations and all that good stuff today on the program. So first and foremost, thank you all for being here, and I invite you to go down below, hit the share button. That helps us a great deal getting this information out, getting the vibe out, because that's really spreading the vibe. Because that's what's different with us and all these other, whether it's folks in these raw food things and the raw food communities and vegan community, there's all these different sectors and things. But the one thing that I would say, we can get technical about the things that are different, that separate us from a lot of these other groups. But the one thing that I really hope to put out there is the vibe. It's a different vibe. Got a little different vibe. And we want to share that vibe, because when people feel it and especially when they feel it in person, then that's a game changer and be transformative. And they're like, oh, okay, we see what's going on here. We see what this is all about. And you get a chance to feel that vibe, and you get a chance to get this out of your gut. Why are you walking around with 32 feet of impacted intestines and 15, 20 pounds of slime in your gut? You're going to feel better when you get that out of there. And that's what we're all about, feeling better. Get the slime out of there. And if you're new here, we practice something called the Mucusless Diet Healing System by Professor Arnold Ehret. I have this lovely annotated, revised, and edited edition that I put out. This is the 10-year anniversary of the annotated edition. So we will talk more about that coming up, because, technically, this is the 10-year anniversary of the paperback version. This would be really 11 years of the actual annotated version. But November of 2014, I believe, is when I put out the paperback version. So that's something, November, we will celebrate that a little bit. And let's see, we are getting everything in place, and definitely feel free to ask us questions and talk with us in the chat, and we'll either reply with directly in the chat, or if it's a good question for the whole group, we can open it up and talk about it. And before I bring everybody on, I do want to give everybody an opportunity to sign up for a free 15-minute discovery call. If you at all are interested in working directly with me, we have some spots available for round number 2 of the Mucus-Free Diet and Lifestyle Coaching Program. This is not something that we do year-round. This is not something that you can just go to the website and get access to this or check it out. This is something that's very specific. We're very particular about the folks that we're going to work with in the program, because it's very important to it's very important to have all of this stuff together. And I'm getting a message that there's a delay lagging behind with the audio of my video. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. We'll have to check that out in momentarily, see what's going on. I'll see if I can, once I bring everybody on here, maybe I can try to reset my camera, see what's up with that. But anyway, go down below. Again, if you're interested in working with me, being a bigger part of the community, really get the structure, support, and accountability that you need to be successful on this path, then you want to click the link, sign up for the discovery call to at least find out if it's a good fit for you. Find out if the program is right and a good fit for you. That is what it's all about. We just had a tremendous round one and had almost 25 folks went through, and it was just a pleasure. It was a wonderful group of really serious practitioners, people really serious about transforming their physiology and their bloodline, overcoming ailments, things that doctors said that you couldn't fix, different, all kinds of different ailments and issues, and just being able to totally transform one's physiology, turn everything around. And I just see that happen time and time again using the simple principles that are offered in the Mucusless Diet Healing System. But the thing that a lot of people forget about the original Mucusless Diet book is it was never a book meant to stand on its own. It was originally written by Professor Arnold Ehret and compiled as a textbook to go along with a course that he taught in person. He was teaching other people that would themselves be educators and themselves work with and coach others on the Mucusless Diet Healing System. And so with the program that we've put together, we try to accomplish that as best as we can in 2024 and beyond. And we add some of the things that insights that we've gotten over the years, and just really my goal with the program is to make the quintessential coaching program in natural health, period, around the world, the best program when it comes to natural health, the most meaningful, cut away all of it's like we get right to the heart of the matter. What works? What needs to happen for one to transform their physiology, overcome whatever the ailments are, and figure out how to take things to the next level. So without further ado, let's bring on our guests for today. First, we got Brady. What's going
on, everybody? What's up, Professor?
And we got JC's in the house.
Hey,
what's going on?
How's it going, y'all?
And Reese is in the house.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Reese?
And Vadim is in the house.
Greetings.
And Monica.
Blessings.
Am I dating
hey,
myself?
everybody.
Is that a 90s reference? Is in the house. I have a song in my head. It's like Sons is in the house. And Annie, what's going on?
Peace, love, and breath.
and Miriam.
Yeah. Hey guys.
There
going on?
Yeah.
And there may be some other guests that pop in a little bit later on. So first, for the folks that have never been on the panel before or done a live with me or anything, let's just introduce yourself a little bit. We'll start with Miriam. Just kind of give your quick background and where you're from and how you found your way to the Mucusless Diet.
Right. Okay. So yeah, my name is Miriam. I am 2 years into Mucusless Diet. Yeah, I just stumbled upon the Mucusless Diet from trying like everything to try and heal myself of sickle cell. So yeah, this is pretty much the only thing that has worked. So I'm sticking to it. And yeah, I'm from uh, I'm from Canada, Toronto kind of area as well. And yeah, that's me.
All right. Nice. And oh yeah, I brought it.
Oh
A
no.
clapper.
And Annie.
Hi everyone, I'm Anirudh. I've been doing Mucusless Diet for about 2.5 years. I started on this path when my aunt introduced me to vegan diets. I was already vegetarian my whole life, but that really took me to the next level. And then I got into more of the natural diet, healing diet, that kind of stuff. And then I stumbled across Professor Spira's stuff. And so I'm a physicist. I'm doing my PhD at Stanford right now. And I really enjoy connecting principles from the mucusless diet with scientific principles and really pushing the limits of science and my field in general, and also helping create an educational system for our new mucus-free world. But yeah.
All right. Very good. And joining us right here is Vidya, which is Annie's mother. Why don't you just introduce yourself real quick? Just say how you learned about the diet and what you're doing.
Hi, all. I'm Vidya Narayanan. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. Like Professor Spira said, I'm Anirudh's mom. And I obviously learned about the diet from Anirudh. He's been practicing for a long time. And I just joined the coaching program. And it's been 2 months since I'm seriously on the diet. And it's been helping me a lot. I do have some slips and falls, but I think I'm in the right direction. Thank you to all of you for being this supportive group.
Most definitely. And Reese, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, it's not my first time, but it's been
Right.
a while, I guess. But yeah, I'm Reese, and I've been in the diet since about late 2017, and yeah, I've been able to heal myself from problems I was having with my intestines and other problems, and yeah, I'm sticking around because it works, and yeah, I live in Idaho, so that's me.
All right. And we'll keep going around. We'll go through everybody. So Vadim.
Hey everybody, not my first time on the podcast, as you all know. Name is Vadim. I'm the founder of Next Level DeFi Academy. I live in Brooklyn, New York, and I've been practicing for about 7 years now. I mean, 5 years ago I joined the MDHS Research Development Team, so been getting much deeper into the system since then. And I'm an MDHS lifer, so I'm here to support the movement in any way that I can, any shape and form, as most of you know. So that's my story.
All right. Monica.
Hi, I'm Monica, and I've been practicing for about 4 years now. Uh, first year a little slowly, so after that a little more seriously for the last 3 years. And I have two kids that are also practicing, Hannah and Mia. They're running around here somewhere. They might pop in. But just feel very blessed to be a part of this community. I've had horrible ailments, all sorts of stuff from nervous system to digestive system to joints and just too many things. And I have read a lot. I've gone down the rabbit hole of other things, and this is the only system that is, in my opinion, complete, without holes, and can take anyone from any level that wants to heal as far as you want to go. So there, it's like infinite from how bad you could be to infinite how great you can be. And to me, that's there's nothing else like it.
All right. And JC.
Hey, what's going on? I'm JC. I've been practicing this thing for about 2.5 years, same as Ani. I do video editing and graphic design for Mucus-Free Life. I'm a part of the R&D team, and yeah, just went to my first Ehret day. Stoked to be here. Shout out Mike Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's me.
All right. And Brady.
Yeah. So my name is Brady, and yeah, I'm in charge of community development here at Mucus-Free Life. I'm also accountability coach for Professor Arnold's diet and lifestyle coaching program. And I also host the Mucus-Free Life Book Club with Anya here. And I've been practicing, I'm rounding out my 4th year on the Mucusless diet. So I'm still in those early years, but there's been so much that's happened in these early formative years. And it's been a pleasure to just be around all the people here and work with Professor Spira directly. And yeah, just get that mentorship, get that community support. And yeah, it's been just a couple of years, but yeah, like I said, the amount of things that have happened, it's mind blowing, from the Ehret days to the multiple rounds of the coaching program and just all the friends that I've made over the years. So yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I'm here with all my favorite people. So yeah, let's get the podcast going.
All right. So let me share. So everybody that's here all came to Ehret Day celebration. And there we go. Okay, video came back here. So here is, why is this not? I'm going to share the group picture. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. There we go. All right. This is, of course, this doesn't have everybody. It's hard to get a picture with absolutely everybody because there's folks that are kind of coming and going at different points. But and sometimes I'll forget to be like, oh, you just like, oh, well, let's get a picture. So Vidya's not in here, unfortunately. She had left a little while before this, but this was before everybody started going. We was able to grab a picture. This is there's maybe what 10 people that aren't in the picture or something like that. About 10 people that participated that weren't there. But yeah, this is a great group of people, and so yeah, I think we'll just open it up and let some of you talk about what were some of your biggest takeaways or revelations or just the experiences. What's some of the most memorable times that you had during the Ehret Day celebration, and how has it enriched your practice and your life?
Yeah, I think the craziest thing was this like expanding of consciousness, which I don't want to throw that out there as like woohoo voodoo. Like literally the how much more you can think, the type of thoughts you can touch on, the mental vitality which you run off of completely changes. And as people started to leave, as the amount of mucus-free practitioners that I was with started to get smaller and smaller, I felt my mind start to shrink again. And I didn't even realize that it had expanded until everyone had left and the clarity of thought completely changed. And so it really got me thinking about what would happen to me if I was around exclusively mucusless diet practitioners that were doing it seriously for an extended period of time. And even at Ehret Day, like I'm not gonna lie, that was the first time I had really good Brother Air salad. So I was a little unhinged. So I wasn't functioning at my best. Man, look at those boys. So yeah, who knows what would happen if all of us were just sharp on it all the time. That was one thing that was really, really interesting.
Yeah, just adding on that, like we really picked out like the food Monica made and everyone helped make was just so incredibly tasty that, which we're not used to eating. We're not used to eating that kind of stimulating food. So then we really overate. But even despite that, we just that energy or whatever, the mind expansion was so great that for me, and this same thing happened during the North Carolina event when a bunch of us got together. The amount of sleep that I normally need is like 7 to 8.5 hours, something in that range. But when I'm plugged in, like together with all these people who also practice the mucusless diet, I don't ever need more than 4 hours of sleep. And it's not like 4 hours and then I'm like, and trying to get out of bed and like not wanting to get out of bed. It's like 4 hours and then I'm just like, whoop, and then I'm like going about the day, and there's no, and then like JC said, like as everyone started to leave, and as when I got back to my normal life, all of that normal obstruction that you normally don't even notice because it's just there all the time, that all started to slowly creep back in, and then I'm back to my normal amount of sleep. And it's so interesting how the amount of sleep correlates with how much obstruction that's there, that basically you need to rest and heal from. Just give the body a break from having to push through all that obstruction that is there. And it's not even just on a physical level, it's on these more subtle levels as well.
Yeah. What else? What were some other takeaways?
For me, the
Yeah.
best was the conversations that I had with everyone, getting to know everyone. And the most memorable was, I think, on Saturday night, Mike, Anthony, Danny, and I, we were sitting around the sofa and we were talking. And it's been I don't think I've ever had such deep conversations, and the kind of reflections that came out of it, and the deep thinking that others have done about knowing themselves and correlating incidents and how it makes them behave. And I feel like following this diet is not only purifying the body, is purifying the mind to such an extent that um, you kind of feel this oneness and everybody is thinking about others. And that was a very, very deep, impactful conversation for me. And I don't think I'll ever forget that. And I'm really looking forward to more such conversations with the group.
Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my favorite was the fireside chat. That was real exciting. Like, sitting around the campfire, sharing stories, and like for the inside, my biggest shock was when they saw Takora climb that tree. And I could see like the future, like the preview of coming attractions, how like a mucus-free elder can just climb a tree. Meanwhile, people her age, like the normal, diet eaters, they're kind of decrepit and walking around with like little walkers to help themselves out, right?
Just
So
for context, that tree was like 70 feet tall.
yeah,
Like you couldn't even see her when she was at the top.
yeah, like she climbed a 70-foot tree. Okay, like when I'm sure her contemporaries are just like barely getting around. Yeah, so
Right.
that was
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, okay, I could see myself that age, doing that, like for sure. To get the nursing home, like, you kidding me? I'm gonna be climbing trees and mountains and doing like 30-mile hikes by myself. Yeah, that was interesting.
It's the only community where the elders are showing out the younger people.
Yeah, I'm
And
like,
Right.
I can't do that. I can't do what
Right.
she's doing. Jesus Christ,
Right.
what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane. They're like climbing trees, collecting firewood from the tree, like knocking down dead branches. I'm like, geez, we got some daredevils in the group here. Yeah, but just the sense of community was great, especially that those fireside evening. That was real nice way to connect. There was definitely some mucus-free energy in the air
Mm-hmm.
in that evening.
Yeah. What else? What are some other?
Yeah, I noticed like every Arid day, everyone kind of gets that stimulation that carries them throughout the year, like all the way until the next one. But for myself, it's always like the last 1 or 2 months before the event where I'm really kind of feeling drained because it's been the longest without connection with other practitioners. But this Arid day was my favorite, and I think that that stimulation and that, I guess, that motivation from being with others is going to last longer and be more impactful in like for the time in between for us doing things and making ideas and whatnot.
Yeah, I gotta agree
so
with
it's
Reese
great.
and Vidya that the conversations are like, you won't have conversations like that anywhere else. And the things that you talk about can not only give you like self revelations, but they can set things in motion for decades and decades to come. Like, I'm sure Spira and Brother Air, the first Arid days, or even before that, they were talking about things that we're doing now. And then I felt like talking with Danny and talking with Sarthak, and I was having like personal revelations. And then for the community, there's things that are set in motion now for decades and decades, like things we're going to be working on for years. And I heard Reese and JC and all the collaboration people were having, just sitting around eating salad. Like we're not doing all this crazy, like jumping out of planes and doing all this crazy stuff. We're just, we're hanging out and we're doing yoga. We're going to parks. We're making salad, and but the conversations is really what stood out to me, and it always does. Just the super high level, and it's not even like you're trying to have that. You're just kind of sitting around, just hanging out. But then these conversations naturally happen, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
And what I found is like everyone had something so profound to share without trying. It just flows out of them, and you could just be talking to someone for hours and hours without even noticing how much time went by. And something I noticed from myself, like I noticed things coming out of my mouth, like me saying certain things that I don't normally think of myself as like a profound person, but like when you're in that environment, certain things come out of you and you might say something that someone else needed to hear, and vice versa. And that was very fascinating to me, and I didn't notice that until people mentioned it to me. And then yeah, just the conversations with every single person is so unique in their own way, who showed up, but also we're all united by the same consciousness. Our personalities might be different and our expertise might be different, but like this energy kind of brings us all together, and it's just such a pleasure to be with people like that, because in my normal life I just don't have those kinds of people around in person. Like I have a lot of scientists in my life, a lot of people in the scientific field, but which is, I connect with them on a certain level, but then when it comes to when it comes to like beyond the surface, like going really deep, I just don't have those conversations with anyone in my life, other than people in this
You
group.
don't talk about enemas with them?
I don't even mention them. Yeah.
I think everyone was so open to listening, and you don't get that anywhere else. Everyone is just jumping to talk about themselves in other settings. Here, everyone truly wanted to listen to the other person, know what's going on in their lives and how they came to know about this. So I think that was also very special, that everybody has included you in the group and are genuinely interested in you and for you.
Yeah, no, like some of these conversations that we had, like it legit felt like you were floating in outer space. Like me and Danny, we had a conversation about like astral projection. Yeah, there he is right now in the yellow. We had a conversation about astral projection, and he's like, well, how do you know you're not astral projecting right now? And there I am sitting in a forest wondering if I'm in space. Like, it was wild, it was crazy, but like that's like just the average conversation at Ehret Day. Like it's just gonna be like some type of teleportation kind of energy where you're just like transported into a realm that you didn't even know could exist, but it does at Ehret Day when you're like connecting with other practitioners doing
Ehret
the
Day
same thing
portal.
like you. Yeah, the Ehret Day portal, like jump on in, right? Yeah.
Jump on in, man. That should be the slogan for next Ehret Day.
Ehret
Get
Day,
into the
somebody
portal.
write that down. Yeah, Ehret
Jump
Day
on
portal. Jump on
Time-
in. That's the
Time to teleport into mucus-free space.
Ooh, yeah, that's something.
And there's not a single bad vibration, and you don't know that until you've been in that environment, because like a lot of people are practicing mucusless diet around the world and a lot of people aren't. But when you experience this for the first time, like I remember my first Ehret Day, it's like you feel that there's not a single bad vibration in there, aside from when Reese beat me at air hockey. But that was
well,
the
that's
only
okay
one.
because I beat Reese at air.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
But
And when Reese hid the Lara bars from me.
Yeah. So there's some fights that can break out over the Lara bars, but no, but for real, like there's literally not a single negative interaction you have for an entire weekend, and that's like unheard of in most social social engagements around the world. It's like, where are you gonna experience that? No awkwardness, none of those weird vibes at
It's
Eric
because
Days.
we're all free to be ourselves, and we were talking about this in the book club about what separates a cult from a community, and Miriam had brought this up, but we don't force anyone to hold certain ideas or do certain things. We're all free people, and we all have practiced the mucusless diet in maybe slightly different ways, but we're not obsessed with what other people are doing and like what they should be doing and all that kind of stuff, what they should be thinking. We have our ideas, we have our thoughts, and others have their thoughts, and that it's counterintuitive, but leaving people to be free actually brings them way closer together than trying to make everyone the same, which is just it's counterintuitive, right? But that's just seems to be how it works. And I really felt that at this Arad Day. Like we're all seemingly different, and we're free to be different, but that actually leads us to being so similar.
Right, and we're all open to change. I think that's another key thing. That through the conversations and through being in that environment, we're all open to change, and then open to let people, do what they want to do. But the mucusless diet healing system practice brings us all together. And I mean, I don't even know how to explain it, but yeah, just being in the environment and being immersed in an environment where everybody's trying to extend their life and live a healthier life and practice the mucusless diet and clean themselves up, and have these conversations where we're talking about bigger ideas and some of the ideals that Ehret's passed down to us, and some that have been naturally a part of us. But yeah, there's nothing like Ehret Day, and I'm already looking forward and planning the next one. I think last year I already had the Airbnb list ready, like 2 months after Era Day, so I'm gonna get that ready for next year. But we level it up every year, and this year we were at a cabin way out in the I guess it's the countryside, Spira, of Columbus. It's in Johnstown, but very quiet area. We were out of the city this time, and we all just drove out there, and we had I don't know, what would you say, 4 acres of mucus-free
Excellence. Mucus-free excellence.
Yeah, 4 to 5. Well, didn't it say 7 on the?
I don't know, whatever. A couple acres of
7. Yeah.
It was definitely enough.
Barbecue there.
We had a walking trail within the property, and that sure looked like it was way out of the world. Like Maria was saying, maybe this is somewhere unreal.
And then Miriam jumped over the fence and got right back into the pus and mucus world in one step.
And we did a little bit of community outreach. So we did. This was the first year we did put on a seminar for the public, and everybody helped do it. Everybody it was kind of like an Arad Day project. Everybody helped put it together, and we got the folks to come through and gave people the introduction, the intro to the mucusless diet and mucus-free mindset and all that good stuff. And this has been something that I've wanted to do for years, and we've talked about it. Like, we're gonna get hotel ballrooms and go set up and do the PowerPoint presentation and bring all that kind of stuff. And we finally did it. So that's one of the things where with us, it might take years. We might say we're going to do something, and it takes years and years to do it, but we do it. It's like we get to it. We don't. There's no pause or stop. It's like it might take a number of years, but we get to it. So the next phase, this was kind of like proof of concept of being able to take this show on the road and actually tour from city to city and put on these presentations, and hopefully as we go, we bring our culture with us. So we include the music, include the storytelling. We had a little fireside chat story time. And the food prep demonstrations, breakout sessions, where folks are showing you how to actually prepare the food properly. It's just unending. So much. For years, I used to say, I want to create an event that's almost like a Michael Jackson concert mixed with a Tony Robbins weekend type of thing, where you just all this stuff is happening, and people are really experiencing the vibe. Because it's one thing, you can go on the YouTube and read the book and all that, and you can get the information is available here, but the one thing that you can't get anywhere else is the vibe. Now, if y'all would agree with me, that's been there. That's the one thing you can't get the vibe anywhere else. You can read the book, you can watch the YouTube and all that kind of stuff, but there's nothing like being there in person, plugging into everybody, as you all were saying here. Hearing people's stories, connecting with people's souls, like all that. You have to do that in person, and that's the one thing that the digital world and all of the AI, there's nothing that's going to replace that. There's no artificial intelligence that can do that, and so yeah, that's that is that.
Yeah, the vibe was epic. I think I was running on vibes, because I think the whole weekend I was running on hummingbird speed, and I think I ate maybe enough food for one day within a 5-day period, and with no need or no urge to want to eat. Like that
Monica,
was
I ate enough food for 5 days in a 1-day period.
Same here.
Oh man, yeah.
It was just too tasty,
joke.
man. I couldn't
those
stop
next
myself.
videos to come out will have to come out with a warning. Please be
Yeah.
aware this could cause overeating.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
your
a
sauce
binge
will be
warning.
so good.
Traffic mucus-free food consumption.
Well, Monica, me and you
It
kind of
will
had to just eat
eliminate.
fruit.
Well,
We had to eat fruit for like a day or two on that trip. Just be like, okay,
yeah,
I need a day off, and we'll come back to this tomorrow.
Oh, look at the gang.
and I was so grateful. Like there was the differences that I felt like just from last year to this year. It was nice to have a bigger feminine participation. So the ladies came out, and that was and the children. We had one more child, and we had Lucky running around, and we got the animal kingdom, the children. Like it's all growing. I'm already was telling Mike, just nicely, you're gonna bring the kids next year, right? Everybody's like concerned. I'm like, look, don't worry, we got you, it's a community vibe. Like we together we can take care of this, and it's just so epic. Like I already knew it was gonna be epic, but like this time it didn't feel like a goodbye. Last year it felt like goodbye. I'm so sad, right? this time I was whining like a little kid, but it felt more like I'll see you later. Like there's no way that this is not gonna get bigger. There's no way that this is not gonna get more epic. And it's just it just keeps growing. And
On
I
top
love it.
of that, it was like when I saw all you guys, it was like a hello again. Even though for some faces like Reese and Monica and Miriam, the first time I saw you guys, and Vadim too, this trip, that was a trip. And I told that to my girlfriend so many times. It was like, no, it's like I knew these people. And Monica in the kitchen was a sight to behold. She just kept taking the spoon and be like, taste, taste, taste. So I already had a full
I didn't
meal
want to.
just by
I didn't want
default.
to eat anything. I wasn't hungry. I didn't want to put any vegetables in my mouth. I'm like, you need to help me here. I need
Exactly.
your taste
Hey, I
buds.
had no problem. I was taking notes the entire time. But what was really, yeah, exactly. But what was really interesting to me is in this practice, I feel like you start to come to your own true nature. And since we're all separated, it's kind of like this preservation bubble that we keep to guard ourselves from the mucus and pus world. And when you enter in this, it's like suddenly everyone like opens it up. And it's like when you go into people, you see the space they cultivated. And like the way that opened up for me was Monica in the kitchen. It's like that corner of the house, her vitality was infinite, just buzzing everywhere. And just like lightning was striking her with ideas like that date applesauce sauce. Exactly. Wait till y'all see the documentary.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. The special dish, the Ehret Day tradition, you know.
Yeah.
The Durian tasting got upgraded this year to the
Exactly.
next level.
I've never seen guys chopping cabbage that quickly. Like,
Yes, Sarthax.
And mind you, not a single person was asked to do anything. Like that's the vibe thing. Like if you walked in the kitchen and you wanted to help, they're just like, Monica, could you give me a cutting board? And you know, boom, I pass you a knife, pass you a cutting board. Here's some vegetables. This is what I want. And like I would just start. You know, I just wake up, go for a walk, take my breath, get some sun, do my enema, and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Like it's on for the next I don't know how many hours. But I never once had to ask anyone to wash a dish for me. It was just dishes got washed because somebody saw dishes and wanted to wash them, you know, and somebody wanted to help and chop. Monica, what else do you need? You know, or Ani gets hungry. Here, pass me something. Let me help you cook. You know, just everything just happens. It's like I call it I would say it's like a dragonfly. It's just magical. Like how does a dragonfly fly? Like it's just so amazing how they can move and flutter and fly and accomplish so much. And that's Ehret Day. It's just a magical.
Monica, the Spira, what came to mind was Spira was laughing because we checked out so early, and Reese, like I set my alarm for 6:30 to check out, and then Reese knocks on my door at like 6, and I'm like, what the hell? And I jump out of bed, and like everybody's cleaning the whole Airbnb, and we're out of there like 2 or 3 hours early, and I thought we were gonna be late, like I thought we were gonna be super late and everything, and then Spira was like what the heck, like how did you guys do that? Like, but it's what you're saying, like everybody just helps out and pitches in, and it's a real community organized event. When we put things on, everybody's contributing to it. It's not like one person's doing everything, or Ani was doing the green juice every morning, and I still need
juice. And he did it because he wanted to. He's like, I want green juice, so I'm just gonna make a whole pitcher full for everybody, you know. And
that's awesome.
And then Mia was playing games, and she was bonding with Brady and Reese, and all of a sudden I see her in the kitchen making juice. I said, who are you making all that juice for? she put a twist on Brother Air lemonade. She put lemons, grapes, and apples. Oh man, I said, you feed me this all weekend, I can run forever.
Yeah, I drank that, and then I had a stomach ache for hours.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm like, ooh, I can run on this for days. And then she put a little sign on it because they had run to the grocery store, you know. And that's another thing. I'd just make a grocery list, and like magically all the groceries would appear, you know. And she put a little sign. She's all, save for Brady and Reese in the refrigerator, you know, because she shared with everybody who was there, and then she wanted to make sure that they got there. So she put her little sign on that to save it for her friends. She was so happy.
Hey, big man.
Yeah, JC, what you were saying about the whole opening up just in everyone's presence, just as you were talking about that, like I felt that in me. like in this moment, just us, all of us talking right now. It's like, and talking about Ehret Day, it's like recreating that same energy. But yeah, and also what Professor Spiro was saying about the live event and how the vibration is just different, because I've seen all those materials that he presented at the live event, but for some reason, being there in person, it just brought out so many emotions. Like I was in tears most of that event, just hearing the story about Professor Spiro's mom and his aunt, and then his mom, and then grandma, and then his aunt more recently, and just how their lives could have gone if they had this information. And it was just very, very emotional time. And hearing everyone's testimony, the most amazing thing is when you have a bunch of testimonials on the screen and all of them are people who are literally in the room
Actually sitting there. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's like, you know, it's real. It's just mind blowing, seeing that. And it really, I was in tears the entire time.
Man, imagine
Yeah,
Coliseum.
it was definitely powerful.
Soon.
Yeah, it was, and then we'll have live testimonials. Like everybody just walk up, here it is. Here's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
testimonials.
Yeah,
Here.
right.
But it was, I definitely agree with Anya on that. Like, it's like I read your stories, I've watched multiple different YouTubes, I've heard you say your story multiple times over, but hearing it in person, just now I understand why the indigenous people didn't write things down. Why
different.
things were passed, orally by storytelling, because it's so powerful. Like you can feel it in you feel the vibration, you feel the tone, the emotion, just all of it in every ounce of your being. And it's just like, I felt so honored just to hear it live. Like I definitely, it felt like an honor to hear that.
That was awesome, Monica. That was, yeah.
Amber, what's going on, Amber?
Amber, hey. Evening coaching call gang, unite.
Just coaching program alumni. We got some new alumni now. So what else? Who hasn't talked a lot yet?
Mary. The crowd goes wild.
Well, man. Yeah, no, it was too epic. I'm just lost for words. That's why I'm quiet. Yeah.
That was awesome.
For me, it was like a micro village thing. Micro Ehret village experience,
Well, we had driven down, so a lot of people were flying in, or they live in the area or whatever. And I know Trayvon and Anthony drove down, but I drive down every year, and Miriam came with me this time, and we usually run into all these kinds of problems, and there's like these trials that I have to go through just to get to that bubble. And then, I got problems with all kinds of things going on. Every year I have stories to tell. This year it was nice and smooth. But on the way back, we actually had some problems. And yeah, so there's always something that happens.
Oh, I haven't heard that story yet.
Yeah, me neither.
So guys, check this out. I even had problems in going to North Carolina. They pulled me over and brought me into this questioning room because I had apples with me. Can you believe that? Like
you criminal.
I could have been walking through with like a bomb or something, and I got apples, and they're talking to me in this super serious tone, like you got a record, like we might have to add this to your record or whatever, and it was like a serious crime. So anyway, that was North Carolina, but this time smooth all the way there. But then coming back, I was like, oh, like everything went so perfectly, and then we stopped because I was getting sleepy on the highway. So we stop at this smaller town or whatever, and we park in this outdoor public park. It's not private property. And I'm literally just sitting in the car, taking a nap, eating some raisins and some almonds. And Miriam's just walking in the sun. We're just we're enjoying the weather, and I'm kind of just taking a quick rest. And this cop comes over after about, I don't know, Marion, was like 30, 40 minutes or something. We're just hanging out there. And the cop comes over and he's like, yeah, so what are y'all doing here? And I literally look at him. I'm like, I'm taking a nap, man, and we're just hanging out.
Yeah, trying not to have an accident on the road. These are called rest stops.
That's what I told him.
When they were invented, that was part of why they were invented, was so that people, because there was a period in history with all the highways when in the 50s and 60s when all the highways were created.
I didn't get into all that.
I know you wouldn't. That'd be. I'd start talking about a history.
Give him a history.
Like I'm resting at a rest stop.
Yeah. Would you rather be in an accident and accidentally fall asleep, or take a 30-minute nap?
But it's like they're finding the most ridiculous things to stop us for, and it's like, yeah, so we saw her kind of just walking around in the sun, so we're just. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, we literally gave you no reason. There's no reason whatsoever. It's like, nah, yeah, we saw her walking around out there.
Walk around in the sun.
Yeah, in their culture,
we don't walk around in the sun.
Like pathological.
Yeah, so it's just like, and then he apologized after because he just sounded dumb. So, so yeah, he kind of walked away. And
what state was that in? Was that in the U.S. side or the?
It was in Ohio. I think it was like Cary, Ohio.
Yeah. Okay, you were still in Ohio.
The guy must be
a rest stop or a park.
It was a public park.
Okay,
that's crazy. A public park.
Yeah, no, they called the cops on. They called the cops on me because they were concerned about my. They were concerned about me, So I was just like,
I'll say it if you don't want to. They're concerned about a black person walking around in Ohio.
Typical.
If you're not in an urban center in Ohio, then you're gonna stick out in this state.
Right. And where me and Marianne are from, we don't experience. Well, I can't speak for everybody, but we live in a place where it's so condensed with all different people around the world. So, I mean, yeah, I haven't even traveled to places that are predominantly just American, straight American people like that. So it's kind of like a weird experience for me because I'm from a place I grew up all years of my life being surrounded by all different cultures, and my family's from several different cultures. So yeah, it's kind of a weird experience for me just being in a place that's just nobody else. And yeah, so that was ridiculous, but we had our
what time was that it was real late or this was
4 p.m. Yeah,
it was like 12, maybe 1. Like the sun was out.
Nothing better to do.
Yeah.
He must be bored.
Yeah.
I mean, this is almost like the persecution of the mucus-free community before they even know who we are. They just, it's like
something is wrong.
Well, it's abnormal for pus and mucus to be walking around in the sun. Their skin cannot tolerate it. So it probably is abnormal to see someone.
No, it was a public park. Like
there was other people walking around.
Yeah.
It was just me that was walking around.
No
like, oh no, you're
racist.
Like,
but come on, like 5 or 6 trips to the U.S. and every single time there's an altercation with enforcement or the border people, and it's like I'm literally going to eat salad and eat some fruit and talk with my friends, but it has to become this major. I got people kicking down the door of my Airbnb, and just being questioned every time I go through the border. It's like, come on,
you're dangerous, man.
He's giving off that weird vibe, man.
Yeah. Oh man, no, I told you about that. There's people having.
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna go into that one, but the trials just to get to the bubble, and then once it's there, it's like, okay, nothing can mess with that.
Yeah, the protective bubble once you're in the bubble. Yeah,
the negative force is like, oh, there's something good that's gonna happen. Like we gotta throw some obstacles in the way. But
I got so used to it that I called someone I think it was like fourth day, and they started talking to me, and like the contrast of just where they were at mentally and physically versus where I was at was huge. It was almost like I was a free man and I was like talking to someone in prison. And I was just like,
Plato's cave.
oh man, I just kind of like zoned out for like a little bit, and I just started analyzing. I was like, wow, like none of this matters. And it's like, wow, like, you can hear the like constipation because there's so much intolerance to pain that comes from the constipation, and I feel like the energy is just different when you're in Ehret Day. But yeah, once that call hung up, that to me was my wake up call. It was a little bit before we left, because yeah, it was my wake up call of like, oh, the mucus and pus world. Like that's what I have to go back to. We're not there yet. This is the plugin that will be my reference point that I pull from for what I want to get to, what I want my life to be all the time. Is yeah, it really feels like once you leave, Ehret Day stays with you. I don't know how long. Y'all say a year. I hope forever.
Reset. It's about 10 months, and then,
Well,
and then
once you make the documentary, then you know the little short movie.
Watch it every night.
Just go play the video. You know,
refresh the feeling.
I miss my friends.
You know,
yeah,
I miss my friends. Here, push play.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Or phone a friend. You know, we're all here still. Like
Phone.
That's the cool thing is like, you know, it doesn't end. It's just we're separated by space and time, but it's not really once you've connected like that physically, like you can hang on to that. It's so cool.
Why are you videotaping me on my phone?
Don't worry.
Yeah.
This must be the
Durian hunt.
Durian run.
This is us not finding the durian.
Yeah. It's like rows and rows of like frozen pus and mucus, and I'm like
Did
to
Did
find.
they move it? Did they,
Yeah.
they move
Nah,
it?
there was only like
Dairy,
7
right
boxes.
there. Look at that
literally.
big sign of dairy and meat right behind you.
Yeah.
You're over
Oh,
here
man.
trying to find some fruit.
I missed it on the first walkthrough, and I'm like, all right, I gotta walk through it again. I'm like, oh, okay,
Was
that's
that
where it
something
was.
we had to stock up on earlier.
Yeah, I got the
different
last 7
locations.
boxes. Like that's it. That's all there was.
Damn it, good.
See, I was like, where is it? Where is it? All this pus and
Okay.
mucus. Just
All that.
Jesus, it's just horrible. I'm like, where is it?
Gosh.
It's like ice cream and crap.
It's like not one thing we could eat.
Yeah.
That was it. You didn't even get the
Yeah. I found it eventually.
Yeah.
It was in there. Yeah, not sure if it's on that video, but I definitely found it
Right,
at some
right.
point.
Yeah. Well, and that. So yeah, let's talk about that. The
Yeah.
durian. So we made durian ice cream. So you get the frozen durian, and there's some good brands. And this is something. So I have to give the tip of the hat to Eli Martyr. That was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. These years get all fuzzy for me. But he had came, that would have been probably gets to two years ago.
Yeah.
And where he back when we were still doing some of the formal presentations of Ehret Day, and he along with Vadim, they were like, oh, we got to do get this going. And so he came, and then they thought it out, and and we all went through. You have to Vadim, explain the science behind the durian. You have to eat it 3 times.
Yeah, so basically durian is the king of fruits because it's the only fruit out there that changes your taste buds and your sense of smell as you eat it. So the more you eat it, the more it kind of unlocks, reprograms, and then it tastes better and better and better every time. And most people don't get through that. So you have to eat it like usually 3 times minimum. And then you get the full lock-in, as I call it. And then it tastes amazing and it smells amazing. But the very first time, though, it might smell like rotten eggs or whatever. It varies by person. I mean, it was good for me for the first time. So, but I guess I'm the rare one.
Yeah, I was blessed to not have to go through that funkiness because it tasted good to me the first time. So I was like, yeah, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hannah it took 2 times because last year she didn't like it and this year she did like it. And Mia still doesn't like it. She's only tried it twice.
There we go.
So we'll find out next year if she's if her taste buds have changed enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
tasted
got all of it.
tasted like
I'm
sour
like,
cream
should we
and
leave one? No.
onion.
Me and Sarthak both liked it on the first try, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
Some people do,
some
yeah.
people like it. Yep, some people like it on the first try. Then others it takes a little. Yeah, it takes the multiple times. And I had tried it when it was. I don't count the first time I tried it because I know it. I just don't think it was good anyway. It was a frozen one that I bought for real expensive.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and I looked online at how you're supposed to, what you're supposed to do, and all this kind of stuff, and but it just didn't smell right. I could tell. I was like, I don't think that this is just that I don't like it. I don't think this is right. And so with that, but it did take me each time I ate it was just I pretty much went through the typical cycle where the first time I was like, I don't know. What do you think? It's not horrible, but I don't know yet. I'm still figuring it out. It's like my brain is literally trying to figure out what's going on. And then the second time, I'm like, okay, little custardy. Like, all right, that's a little better. Then by the third time, I was like, oh, okay,
all
getting
right.
high now. We're getting high on
it actually gets you high, and I don't know the scientific mechanism behind it or anything, but it gets you high for a good hour or so.
There's a chemical reaction of a sort, I guess, like a biological one. Obviously, it's a natural fruit, but gives you like a little buzz of a sort.
I missed the ice cream this time, but I've tried was that freeze dried?
Yeah, the freeze dried. I gave it to everyone in my family. Both my parents didn't like it, and my brother didn't like. My brother, I think, also didn't really like it. He was indifferent. But my grandma, she tried it and she was like, "Oh yeah, this tastes kind of like jackfruit," and that was it. She didn't have any like strong opinion on it at all, which I found funny.
Man,
and Lucky loved it, man. Those little freeze-dried things were like a snack.
He crushed.
Brady was like trying to make best friends with him.
Brady ate this entire big bag of freeze-dried jackfruit.
I helped him.
Okay. Where did you even buy? Where were those? Where'd you buy those?
I got that from the Raw Food World. This is website that
you gotta try them crunchy though. Like it's actually
the crunchy one. Yeah, when they're crunchy, they're.
Yeah, I've had it like that. Yeah, it's good. It's like durian chips basically.
Yeah.
You know, like all dried and crunchy. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not as good as the real deal. I mean, obviously, nothing really is.
The ice cream was the ice cream version. This year's was my favorite.
The banana ice split. Cream having it a banana split
with
made
the fresh
it so
bananas and the date caramel. Man, it was.
Someday we'll pick our own.
That was it.
Like next air day or the air day after that, we'll go somewhere where we can get like some fresh ones.
Singapore.
Yeah, those are tricky though. The fresh ones, you know, they have to be ripe. If they're not ripe, you know, then it's no good. And if they're overripe, it's not good either. So
I trust you.
That's the tricky part. Hey, man, you know.
Don't worry, we'll take you with us, Vadim. You're in charge.
You gotta pick the right one. You know, like when you get those boxes, it's 100% guaranteed that it's always gonna be good in there. You know, because they're already taken out and at the right stage. So yeah. That's why I prefer to go for the frozen boxes. It's just it's just good to go right off the bat.
Nothing was funnier though than like just this massive party of people just trying to grab as much durian as they can, this or that, this or that, and like once the dust settles, Brady's just walking around with this like plastic bag of durian, like popping it in his mouth like it's popcorn. Oh man, I put some of that stuff with applesauce. Oh. Yeah, it changed my outlook because the first couple of bites were like sour cream and onion. I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
rotten sour cream. Yeah, I was like, I think I like grapes. This is cool and all, but I'm okay.
I don't know where I'm looking for the video because I remember taking a video of you when you were making the ice cream.
Yeah,
it might be on my camera.
That's right. I was using your. Okay, I was like, not mine. You
gotta tune in for the documentary, y'all. It'll be there.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the documentary.
Exclusive content.
Because
we got the first tasting also. I remember I was tasting it to camera.
We should watch the documentary together.
Oh, that'd be sick, man!
Watch that on.
Wow. Okay, I'm going hard on it. Let's go.
JP, I still need to send you the video of me going around asking everyone, where do you get your protein? You have to include that.
Put that in the community folder, please. I have a
You do
blooper
that
section at the end.
stores or at the Ehret Day?
At Ehret Day.
That'd be so funny.
Casey, you also have to reach out to Tobin's wife. She took a video of what's her name, climbing the
Takoa?
Yeah, the climb.
Yeah. Wow.
That climb was
we're
legit,
gonna
though,
we're gonna have to check everybody who was there. I don't know if whoever has their contacts to see if they have any pictures or videos. That way we can get everything.
Right, round it all up. Yeah.
Somebody definitely filmed that climb, though. It wasn't me, but I'm sure somebody captured that one.
Yeah, there was. I got a little, but I need a better. What was that? John sent me a text with it, but it's so small and grainy because it gets compressed. So, and it was hard to see anyway. All I could see on that was the leaves moving on the outside of the tree. And, so we'll have to see if we get a good version of that. But yeah, so we did. So this time we did the durian ice cream. So we turn the frozen durian into, take the pit out of it, the seed, and then blended it into just a real nice consistency. Then Monica made this caramel sauce out of dates and it was like 3 ingredients: dates, lemon juice, and
applesauce. I think also
applesauce.
That's it.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That messed me up because
that's all I had.
Wait a minute, how'd you do that?
Yeah, right. He didn't say
Universal
a word.
download.
Yeah. Once I started, I was like, oh,
download.
that was correct. That was
correct.
with the banana split. So I did it because we were talking about should we bake the banana. I was like, no, I don't want to bake the banana this time. I want to just do the straight split. So I cut it just like you would do the old banana split. So I cut it in half and kind of quartered it, whatever, and then put that around the ice cream and put that on top. It was like, this is it.
The king dish.
Yeah.
The Durian pink banana split surprise.
like that's mucus-free right there. It's like how ridiculously good is mucus-free right there.
Those cucumber dressings you were making, Monica. Oh, I'm on my second round. I was giving that to the lady. She was like, whoa, what is this? I was like, I told you, Monica is her.
No, but the acorn sauce blows everything out.
And the sweet potato sauce.
Week,
and then I gotta make a special one for Brady.
I took a whole tub home. So how I did it was I knew I had a long flight, so I put it in the freezer the night before. And by the time it was lunchtime, when I got home, all of it had melted.
He needs the recipe.
Yeah, so I've been literally drowning all my food. Like I'll have my cooked vegetables, it'll be drowning in acorn sauce, and then I'll have the almond flour tortilla. I was showing JC this yesterday.
He's not lying.
I'll take some acorn sauce and spread it all over the tortilla. Then I'll take the vegetables, which are already drowning in acorn sauce, and put that on the tortilla
sauce.
and then eat that.
You should just replace your green juice.
And then a bunch on the salad too. Mix into the salad.
Drink the sauce.
He's not even kidding. It's like that thick of a layer on top of the tortilla. It's dedication, man.
Okay, now we're not gonna shoot a video unless this is helping you eat more vegetables. If it's not helping you eat more vegetables,
it's helping.
Ban the video. The video is banned. The point was, these recipes were designed to get my children to eat more vegetables. Like that's the level of and trust me, they didn't taste like this at the beginning. Like I had to get there. Like there was many more ingredients in the past, and this is like the least number of ingredients, the least amount of mucus forming items in it. Like literally each dressing has, like the cucumber dressing only has a quarter cup of olive oil, or quarter cup or half a cup in a full blender, like 8 cups worth of sauce, dressing, and it only has half a cup of oil.
If you make a recipe book, we would be pushing that hard. People that do not have social media accounts will make social media accounts to promote that recipe book.
That's crazy.
Nice.
We need that.
Monica, your cooking, what separates it from everything else, especially like as you get closer to the mucus-free cooking, is you've somehow made vegetables have like an equal amount of stimulation to fruits, which is why vegetable meals have always been so difficult for me in mucus-free. But these dressings, they're something else. And then on top of the Brother Air salad, somehow they all had great synergy with the Brother Air salad. So it was so hard not to overeat. It was, oh man, it was crazy.
Well, because I really focus on trying to bring out like the sweetness, that grape sugar that exists in those fruits and vegetables. And so, yeah, because they're
We're mucus-free
sweet,
foodies.
If
We
you
are,
get Vidalia
yeah.
sweet onions and you cook them long enough, like they're sweet. If you cook the tomato long enough and the bell peppers and let the water evaporate a bit and get that concentrated, yummy deliciousness. And then you put that over vegetables, you end up eating more vegetables. And that's the whole point.
And the dressing is made of vegetables.
And the dressing is made of vegetables, like very little. It's either olive oil or a handful or two of nuts, for the creamier ones. And again, you can change it to whatever. That's the beauty of these recipes. Like normally I make that dressing out of sweet potatoes, but we didn't have any because they hadn't come back from the store. So I was looking around. I'm like, okay, here's some carrots, here's some acorn squash. Bam, let's make it out of that. Like there's no obstacle for me in the kitchen as to how this is going to taste delicious. I'm like, because I can see the potential of like just all the vegetables. They all have this grape sugar in them. And
the acorn sauce is born.
Pull it out.
You
were so happy. It was so cute. He's all, I will peel them for you. I'm like, okay, go ahead. Peel away. Let's get
Monica, it's like you said you were so happy because everybody would just bring everything to you and then you just like whip it up and it's like I will get you the stuff and then you work the magic.
Yes.
I think JC and Monica should work together on a recipe book.
That would be, hey man, I have lots of ideas.
Skills are,
I'll have to actually write down the amounts. Oh Lord.
I mean, you could just write in the recipe, put how much ever you want.
One thing I did want to bring up that I thought was super interesting is whenever I looked at longer term practitioners, and not even just longer term practitioners, I need to correct myself, just serious practitioners, which was pretty much everyone there, the way they functioned was completely different than everyday people. This is literally like people who have made their bodies a vessel for like some higher power. And this is a really like esoteric way to put it. But I remember it was me, Reese, Ani, Brady. We were just outside talking, and Monica's just like sunbathing. I think like Brady says something about like an injury, and Monica says like this thought was just so like strong in her head, and she just pops up, gives us this like heal all oil, like, and then just goes back and sits. And then when I
actually said something about it?
I don't
know. No way. I thought you heard us.
No, I heard nothing.
My point is proven.
No,
so,
nobody even said anything.
I just had a feeling,
like I just
felt it in the pit in my like I feel it in
like
the
itching
stomach
everywhere.
region.
I was like, ah.
I felt like the itch, and I was like, oh, he needs it. I heard nothing, absolutely nothing.
We have freaky moments like that all the time, though. Like, like I'll be like, oh, I gotta call Monica, and then I'll look at my phone, and it's like, oh, Monica's calling me. And then, like, just
me and Brady said that you get so used to miracles on this path that this kind of just stops.
It's not a miracle. It's just like everyday life. Like, and we were talking about how like
this
when
is how
someone
we
is mentioned, they just suddenly pop up into the call.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That was every day,
like
right?
2 days ago. Ani came on. We were talking about Ani, and then he just like it's like Ani appears.
And that happened like every week, right? Every week, like when you're talking about me, that's when I pop up.
Yeah.
Weird.
But yeah, even as I was being moved across the Ehret day, the vitality becomes so high whenever you're in the right spot that it's like you just kind of are guided by that. And sometimes the conversations fuel you for a few hours, and you step away, go to a different room, and like, oh, it feels better to be here. But it was to me like a more natural way of being, because I do see us as communal beings. And so I imagine decades, centuries ago, when mucus-free communities were around, that's how they functioned, where it was like this plug-in, which we're starting to see a resurgence of it again. And man, once you taste it, it's very difficult to go back to what you came back to before. Oh man. Yeah. Look at that. That was the grocery haul crew.
One. Well, day two for some of us, but
yeah.
I didn't realize you guys are taking a video.
The cat back there.
That looks like he's photobombing over there.
Yeah.
He's like
This
photobomb.
Bomb him.
We got photobomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and one of the other beautiful things that happen is just randomly Mia walks up to me and she tells me, she says, "Thank you, mommy." I'm like, "For what, baby?" And she's like, for finding the mucusless diet and Professor Spear and the community. Thank you, and just gives me a hug and walks away. I was like, oh, the waterworks, like start. I'm just, how does that
Mia
happen?
or Hannah?
That was Mia.
Oh, okay.
That's
No,
that lemon rind.
Hannah would just come back. Mama, I just climbed a tree with Sister Tekoa, or she'd run back. I just beat Reset. Oh no, that was Mia. Mia ran back. I beat Reset air hockey and just so happy. She's like, and I'm gonna make him juice anyways, because she didn't lose. So if she lost, she was supposed to make juice, but she didn't care. She's like, I'm gonna go make juice anyways. But just. Yeah, that was not our goal.
Oh, here we go. Somebody's gonna comment. I'm calling this right now. Somebody's gonna comment on the documentary or something, like, "Oh, you guys are cutting without gloves on," or something.
Hey man, we're clean over here.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Is there somewhere?
Man, look at Trey. And look at Sarthak's hands in the back. Masterful. Check him out. Had to zoom in.
Yeah, see how he's cutting.
Yeah, video. Yeah. Video was a general
I
too.
watched that forever. It was like beautiful.
But no, video. You were awesome. You came in and you just you were helping Monica. You were helping out so much. There's Miriam. Hey, but it was so cool to see how you helped with the kitchen stuff, and that special curry seasoning has become a staple in my house. My girlfriend and I can't get enough of it. It's incredible. And
Monica,
these peas,
I have the recipe written down, and I'll pass it on to Anirudh so he can send it to you.
Recipe book.
please. Just have to give a generous.
The tray salad. I almost ate it like that. I thought that was the tray salad, just a bunch of peas.
Just peas.
the pea salad. Pea dish.
Yeah, Miriam got me so mad when she was like, peas are my mucus of choice. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Peas are not mucus. Destroy my whole paradigm.
Oh, just wrecked your whole transition.
Yeah.
What? This is mucus forming? Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, Ani
Not
lost.
really, but yeah.
Danny Michael, shout out. Oh man, this salad went crazy. I've had it almost every day. It's so good.
Okay, there's it. Yeah, the sauce.
Yeah, Mia.
All this fancy food. I'm just back to apples. That's it.
Yeah, one apple a day.
No, maybe 2 or 3.
Apple dipped in acorn sauce.
No.
Reese, what was one of your favorite conversations that happened during Ehret Day?
Oh man, there were so many of them. That's kind of hard to
that one.
Oh man, that dog, man.
What's the story behind that?
You gotta hear the audio. Can you play the audio, please? Please. Oh, we can't hear it.
Is there audio though?
Yeah, there is.
I might have to
really funny.
reshare with
okay.
and hit the audio thing.
God, that's the funniest video of all time.
and hope it doesn't do some weird.
You know you want it. Hey, come on. Hey, come on. I'm reaching.
He's like, yeah.
Not happening, guy.
To make peace with him every day.
Oh man.
What were you offering him?
Yo.
Was that some
I think that
watermelon?
was some watermelon.
Mm. Oh yeah,
Oh,
with the
man,
roses.
Park of Roses.
Heaven.
So it's like it's almost like you got in all of the because the Park of Roses, that's part of the Ehret Day tradition. At some point, you got to go to Park of Roses, and so you guys got it in early.
Mm-hmm.
Straight off the plane to the park.
It was so nice.
Me and JC had the red eye. We were, like, on zero sleep, just like walking around all these roses, just floating.
Purely off of vibes. It was incredible. Yeah, that was the first time I met Miriam. Miriam, that was such a cool way to meet for the first time. Just herbs everywhere. Reese and Monica just like, ooh, smell this, smell this, smell this. It was super
And like
cool.
what JC was saying before, just meeting Miriam and Reese and Vadim, and it really did not feel like I'm meeting people for the first time. It was just like, oh yeah, these are people I've known. And the same thing happened during North Carolina, meeting Brady and JC.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, yeah, and Professor Spira. It was just, yeah, we've known each other forever, and we just happened to be seeing each other in person, and it was like, there was nothing weird at all. It was just, yeah, just incredible.
But I will say it is pretty surreal to like see Spira, and it's just like I just get to dap him up. Like how often does that happen in life, you know?
Yeah, and so some of the conversations, like every single conversation was mind expanding in some way, but some of the conversations I had with Vadim just really like, because he has all these ideas about the future. I'm not gonna reveal too much on this call, but there were certain things he mentioned that directly are like, he'll mention some idea for the future, and I'll think about it and I realize, wait, in my research exactly right now, literally a month from now, I'm going to do an experiment that involves the exact thing that he mentioned, which is like an impossible coincidence.
It's not coincidence, it's fate.
Yeah, it's just really crazy stuff.
The invisible threads are linking up.
Yeah, but our plan for world domination is
world domination.
Hey.
Nothing less than that.
Keep it down.
You know, blow up our spot, man. Come on. You're watching. No, I'm kidding.
But
yeah, man. It's definitely some deep conversations.
Oh, we got the green light on.
Sir.
I don't think I tried. I still want to see because it smelled a little bit different from the green salt one. But everybody is giving the green light on on that.
I was picking up Reese there.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and then the other person, Mike, like talking to just being in front of Mike, you'd feel like that just love just pouring out into you. And it's, yeah, I just can't even describe it. That was probably the most profound.
Mike is
being around him.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, shout out to Mike. He's gonna hook up my whole wardrobe for me. And Marianne, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, Mike is just too amazing, and he's just so positive. Like, it's infectious, honestly, just being around him. You're just like, oh man, I'm just like kind of a dark individual at times, but then you go around Mike and it's like doesn't even exist, you know? Like, who is that? Not me.
And the things that Mike has been through, like his life story, hearing that, but seeing who he is now, and it is just, it's hard to wrap your head around it rationally. But you see him, you're with him, and it's just like you don't feel any of that. You just Like you wouldn't even imagine like the things he's been through. And he doesn't like walk around like, oh my God, I have all this trauma and I'm sharing it. No, it's nothing like that. He's able to, he's like Professor Spira. He's able to talk about these things, these very difficult experiences he's been through, as if it's like that emotional weight. It's not like he's carrying around that weight everywhere. It's like, it just is, it flows out, and it's not like an emotional thing. Like it's emotional for all of us who are listening, but for him, it's like, it's him letting go of some weight that he had.
No,
And
he's already let
I mean,
go.
he's already let go of that
the
weight.
work. He's
So
doing the
it's
work.
like there's
He's done the
nothing,
work.
there's no obstruction there.
Yeah.
He got purified by the fire of adversity.
Yeah.
Oh man, this video is awesome. Shout out Brady for it.
You get the table knocks when Sarthak's going nuts.
Oh man.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, and then he took it and started interviewing everybody, I think.
Oh, is this the one?
Yeah.
That's there you go. That's some breakout session. We'll teach you how to do that. Come to come to the seminar.
Some knife work.
Serious.
Yeah, and it's like we could turn ordinary things into so much fun, because like I was saying earlier, like we're doing everyday things, like just going to the store with these people is like, you know, it's so much fun. Like we don't even have to do anything crazy to
The Rainbow Hobgoblins. Reese.
Oh yeah.
That. That's the best music I've ever heard.
Yep.
And how many ever people can fit into the car? Like 5 or 6 of them in the car to go to the grocery store. And I'm wondering, okay, what are they going to buy? And feed so many people.
Just the hang. Just the hang.
It's the experience.
Sure, everyone was always in a good mood. It was so surreal. Oh, there he is. Watch, the phone's gonna start vibrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything would just always work out. Like even going to San Filippo, like I didn't realize they closed like at 3:30 or something like that, and we got there like when I called to see if I just hadn't registered that something would close early like that. So I never asked. And so I just called to see if the organic apples were there, and he's like, okay, yeah, when they're here, you know, because I never got confirmation either that they were there. So I was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna go pick them up in a little bit. He's like, we're closing in 30 minutes, and I was like, oh shoot, everybody jumped in the car. Yeah,
Monica,
but it was so cool. Everybody helped us, you know, get the cases of lemons, everything that needed to be done, and like everything happened, you know. So it's so cool.
But we didn't even have the car space, right? Like we did, but
we didn't even have the car space. We
had to go
reorganized. Yeah,
it
like
worked
I don't
out.
know how many suitcases fit in a tiny Prius, but man, we put them all in there to make space in the bigger cars so that we could put all the boxes in. Some people were holding boxes, like it was everywhere. Like we had planned to go there after we checked in and put all the boxes down, but that wasn't possible at that moment. And I was like, nah, we need these lemons, we need all these ingredients, or we can't even get started. So it worked out. We figured it out.
Did we get the official brother salad recipe?
Is that a recycle bin? What is that?
Oh no, don't even. Yeah, you're gonna give people things to complain about.
That's the bowl. That's our giant.
It's a grocery. It's a grocery bin.
That's so funny, bro. Yeah, I guess we need him to show up next year.
That's the master salad container.
Yeah.
Master salad container. No, it's master salad container.
Yeah,
it can be
put
a
it into the
bin
master
if you want,
container.
but yeah, it's not its intended use.
Yeah.
There it is. Look at that zoom up shot.
I guess it's you didn't need my food processor after all.
Now we have Sarthak.
You have a Sarthak.
Look at him. He's so happy.
Look at this guy. He's good at it too.
Yeah. And he'll mince your cabbage and open up your mind at the same time. Blow your mind.
Yeah.
That's some. Well, and I dubbed a new invention, which is the Brother Air coleslaw.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Brother Air salad without the apple,
by accident.
dates, and raisins. So just
Yeah.
Nice and plain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
that's
one
better
happened
that
by
way.
accident too, because we were trying to finish the Brother Air salad, and I was like, no, everybody's getting hungry. I better get started on dinner. And so I just stopped at that point and put it in the fridge, and I was like, okay, well, I'll finish it up. That's for tomorrow anyways. But then, I finished dinner and making everything else, and then people just started eating it and pulling it out of the fridge, and I was like, oh no. But I but I didn't say anything because they liked it and they were eating it, and I was like, well, I'll just wake up early and make more, and sure enough, it was a hit. And then the second day, well, we got there Thursday, right? So then Friday, I was putting together another like whole big pot because they almost ate the whole thing from the night before. So now I was back at square one with Brother Air salad, and I was like, okay, well, let me wake up early and get to chopping. And before noon, we had like a huge tub and like 6 or 7 or 8 bags of it ready. And again, we didn't put the apples or the dates or the raisins yet because we wanted it to marinate first and then add it, and then everybody started eating again. So day 2, it still didn't get added. And then finally, after the seminar on Saturday, I still had 4 bags because we made a substantial amount that time. So there was no way they could put all that away in my head.
JC and
so-
Reese got one to take to the airport, I heard.
Yeah, and Trayvon
Yeah.
totally saved my butt on that one. I was like, can you chop? I was like, can you just add a little bit of all of that? Because he's familiar with the recipe. And we got to chopping the apples, and he added a bit of everything to every bag. And finally, Brother Air salad was correctly made by Saturday night. It took us 3 days.
Oh man. Oh, the ratatouille. That was so cool.
Yeah, that was because I ate every other day, so I ate that day, and then I took Saturday off, and then ate Sunday. So that was
Talking about it
my
like
strategy.
it's work.
Huh?
Talking about it like it's work. Yeah, I got the day off.
Man, I had to eat
Yeah,
that day.
I'll let you guys. You guys had all the Saturday eating. I let y'all do that, and then I ate again on Sunday.
You weren't gonna skip the durian though.
No, I wasn't gonna skip the Durian day.
Definitely not.
I didn't even get to try it. Was it good?
No, it was not good.
Damn.
Me neither.
It was like a rush at that blender, just like
Oh,
before you know it, it was gone, I guess.
there's Monica's red sauce. Check out Spears' YouTube
How come
video.
nobody told me my hair was sticking up on camera, guys? Like, come on.
That's okay.
Hey,
Guys,
you were
it's
busy.
Cool, it's cool. I was. It's the working hair. It's
Oh man,
all
look at
over
this
the place.
community. Look at this, man.
I
Randy.
love it. Oh,
They're on the
man.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Randy.
people think Mucus's diet is about starving oneself, and here we see it's all about the food.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely weren't starving, I tell you
Food,
that.
I mean, epic conversations just everywhere. Like there was a point where I went outside on the patio to sit by myself, and I opened the windows because I didn't want to not hear everything that was happening, because people were playing jazz music, and then all these epic conversations were happening. But like I didn't want to talk at that moment. I was just taking it all in, and I was just sitting there so blissful, just like this is alive. It's the community is living, it's breathing, it's happening right now in the present moment. Like I was just so emotional and felt so honored to be there. It was just like wow. I had to just sit out there and breathe with myself to realize like wow, this is happening in the now. And that there were no words for it at that point.
And something Professor Spira said, like has said before, And I think I agree. It's actually not all about the food. Like, we're not thinking about food all the time. We're not like obsessed with food. I mean, at Arid Day, of course, we're like picking out a little bit, but like in our day-to-day lives, food is not the thing that we're thinking about all the time, which kind of sets us apart from a lot of the other food related communities. Even though we're coming together around the diet, even like most of the conversations we had were not about what we were eating. That was just like a default, like, yeah, we're practicing the diet, but like the conversations were so much deeper. And I think that's what makes this the middle path, because when I see like people, normal people, just like hanging out, and like even people in academia, in my research community, half of the conversations are about like what they're gonna have for lunch that day, or like what they're
Oh,
gonna have for dinner.
100%
All talking about
academia.
food. And then you go into like the raw food kind of realms, and like they're also all talking about food, like how all their either their recipes or like their fruit fasting and all that. And it's like all about food. And here we're just like right down the middle, where we're taking care of ourselves, but we're not like we're living our lives. We're living lives that are meaningful enough that we don't need to use food as the thing to distract ourselves. Either in terms of like using food as like using fasting as a way to distract yourself, and over fasting as a way to kind of almost that even that is almost like in its own way a kind of stimulation. And then, or like going the other direction, where it's just like pigging out and just always thinking about whatever restaurants.
The food just opened us up to the conversations that we had. There were so many, we'll never be able to bring them up here, but I promise, like, the food was delicious, but the conversations, the discussions, the brotherhood, the sisterhood that was developed, that's where it was at.
Yeah, you can even feel the food like when you're eating and like conversing with other people. Like you couldn't really feel the food. Like yeah, you were eating, but it just didn't sit in your stomach whatsoever, and you were just like kind of vibrating off of other people's energy and just like tapping into that rather than like being obsessed with what you're eating. So yeah, like yeah, we did we have been talking about food for like a while, but it was not like the main highlight. And like Monica, Brady, they were like trying to put off eating food just so they can like stay at that high vibe, you know. So they wanted to like consume air day vibes rather than, you know, like, oh, like Monica's amazing cooking, right? You know, so yeah.
We made a little
Yeah,
juice.
yeah. I mean, it's we feature it here as a part because, as the comment said, oftentimes people think that that's all we do is fast and talk about how to eat less and that kind of
breatharian
thing. It's
retreat.
like, yeah. There's this sort of false belief about that when the real art of the practice is learning how to enjoy eating in a way that doesn't kill you, in getting away from the pus and mucus forming foods, the stuff that doesn't leave behind this residue, slime and pus, and and so that's all it is. And so it's exciting when you learn how to prepare food in this way where it tastes really good, you're super satisfied, and you're not leaving behind a whole bunch of slime. It's exciting and you get happy about it. But yeah, as you said, when the majority of the conversations are not about food and it's just
But the
a
cool
little
thing is
piece.
that the food didn't really slow anybody down. Everything was designed, unless you hit the overeating mark, that was a
Which was
possibility.
all
But
of us.
I'll raise my hand. Yeah.
yeah, but if you didn't, like, there was no way that this, it was designed to eliminate very well in
Oh yeah.
in everybody's system. And I'd be running around checking, did everybody have a good elimination? Everybody's, eliminating well. Do I need to make this more broomy? Or, actually, but by Sunday, I think we made, that's when we did the Mediterranean type salad, where I was like, I wanted to eat, and I was like,
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, that
this is a
Yeah,
little
yeah, I
heavy
like
That's
that
how
for
it
me.
saved my
So,
life. I couldn't handle
yeah,
any more Brother Air.
yeah, that
Sorry,
was
Brother
too
Air.
heavy
You're
for
not
me.
invited anymore.
I
Don't tell him
missed
I said
Brother
that.
Air. I missed him.
Yeah,
I
missing
sent
a
I
lot.
sent him my love.
All
Oh,
right, next time, next year.
One thing I do want to say about the food that I thought was really interesting, and this is just from like my perspective. Like I said, at over 8, I noticed like Brady and Monica, they and of the people that were like organizing everything a lot, those two ate the least, and I would often see them like hold on to a like leadership position in terms of just like how the event was moving. And in the mornings when I was just on like fruit and juice, I felt like I was like kind of closer to them. I was getting the videos I needed, this or that. The second I started to eat a little bit too much, then it was like my role in the event shifted. But what I thought was beautiful is like you were never a useless piece. It's just like how you flowed within Ehret Day changed based on how much you ate. But it was always I don't know, it always added to everything. Because even one of the nights that I did, I was all the nights. What am I saying? I ate a little bit too much.
Come on now.
There was the fireside chat, which is like one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of. Just
You missed
2
out
hours.
because you were sleeping.
yeah. Come on.
But no. But it was I caught 2 hours of just like excellence, and I just got to sit there and listen and take video, and a lot of it will never be seen, but you know
That's a good video. You could play the sound of that, but I don't know if you want to. You could save it, but yeah, Spira's opening things up there. It's a good video.
Okay. This is the
story.
I love
Helped him remember who he was, where he came from, cautioned him, told him what had happened. He had ate of the forbidden fruit and fell asleep for 50,000 years. During that process, he had aged, which they knew nothing about that. They never aged because they never ate. The earlier ate, he aged. He started to lose his power, lose control over who he was, and had forgotten who he was and where he came from. So like Air Eater, we have to use our voice, our gift of...
Didn't record all of it.
gift of song. Yeah,
Yeah.
The
Gotta
kids
keep it
loved it.
just for
They
people that
loved
were
it.
there.
yeah, that was that was fun. Yeah, that'll be a new
A new
Ehret
staple.
Day. Yeah, a new staple.
Yeah, I like that.
And what pray tell is going on here?
That's Liver King.
Liver King. I mean, this must be last year's Halloween stuff because this is real early.
Oh yeah.
Was this Costco?
Yeah.
That was me taking a picture with it. That was fun.
I mean, it's like that's how I feel when it go out into Plus and Mucus world, and it's like
like a
when
circus,
people go to the circus or people going to some foreign land, and they're it's like go get a picture with this crazy weirdness.
Yeah.
And,
Like,
just
the hell?
total.
They were just selling these things to put in your room or something. It was like boxes of them.
This is like
you just buy this thing and put it in your room.
Yeah, your
I'm like,
room
what?
or people outside their house on Halloween, and
yes, yeah.
But when you start to see the world through our eyes, and you just see the absurdity, and all you can do is just laugh at it. Just the absurdity of these, what pus and mucus has created, what pus and mucus stimulation has created, just some of the weirdest and most useless things on the planet. But all you can do is sometimes just laugh at it, just point at it and just be like, man, I can't believe made something so stupid and idiotic, you just laugh. Yeah, werewolf people. Yeah, eating. Whatever the werewolf lore. There's always food involved. It's they start to eat humans and whatever.
Eating of the flesh.
Yeah, eating of the pus and the mucus. Oh, here's a good one. So this is
wow. Yep.
after Ehret Day back at the here at the Professor Spira hut.
Carved directly out of a watermelon.
Exactly. Yeah. Watch the video. I'm playing.
That's the 1924 second edition, oldest known copy of the Mucusless Diet Healing System on the planet in existence. That I've never seen anything older than that second edition, which I'm sure I should have some kind of special book coverings and all kinds of protective things on it, but I don't. It's in my stash.
plastic bag.
Yeah, I have it's in plastic bags. They're not special. I need to find some kind of special book collector type of stuff.
Man, you just had to be there. That was crazy.
Yeah, I like that signature where Ehret says "mucuslessly yours."
Yeah, mucuslessly yours. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to borrow that one. That sounds good. Mucuslessly yours, Vadim Boss.
Spirit's got a serious collection, so you can tell the work that he's put in. And when you read the annotated and revised version, and then see that collection of books, it's like, dang. No one's touching that version of the Mucusless Diet, in my opinion, just my opinion.
You got to see all my books with all my notes in them.
Yeah, that was
I
cool.
actually read everything. You can see my notes.
And I put in the work. Shout out Victor Butcher.
I know. I was looking at his photo and I was just like, wow, this man, this man, and then the domino effect of the community that has now existed because of this man, and then because of Ehret, and then, you know what I mean? Like, how does that, again, you go to the miracles and the magic of how this all came to be and how this is now like alive and well and a living, breathing community. It's just, it's just like the miracle of life, like how does this one little being come into life, and now this just wow.
Yeah, Vic put us all on. Like, we would not be here without Vic.
Yeah, because he introduced it to Brother Air, Brother Air introduced it to Professor Spira, and
the lore.
I mean, we gotta make that's gotta be a story.
Lore.
That's gotta be made to a story too, like at the campfire.
Mm.
And then there came the Mucus-Free community, and all was well with the world.
Yes.
And I had a release. I had created that the Vic was it Socrates? Was it Socrates, Ehret? Well, there's one. It was like Socrates, Ehret, and me, or like Socrates, Ehret, Vic, and me in a conversation as a story.
That'd be insane.
We were convincing Socrates of mucus-free lifestyle. Yeah, enlightening Socrates,
turning Socrates into
Yes. Ehret killing him.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was. I tried to zoom in.
Health club.
We need to go get that chest and open that up.
We do. Yeah, we need to go investigate that and go ahead and follow up. And
Reese, let's go.
Yeah, that's gonna be special ops. Yeah.
Oh man, this thing was so cool. I think I zoomed in during one of the stuff, but yeah, it was like hair.
Yeah, the articles, and that's just one newsletter. Like the whole series of those, with just year, a bunch of those newsletters.
Recipes for the housewife.
Yeah.
And you get those
Like back in the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, back when you were allowed to use the word housewife.
Yeah, like housewife.
Without
that's
getting
like a normal
canceled.
thing. Who are you calling a housewife?
Don't put me in a box. I don't want to be in a
need to
box.
work. Many women nowadays wouldn't mind being just housewives, just relaxing at home.
Take care of your hair.
I feel like those old.
Okay, so you saw how everything functioned and the level of work that put in. So like when people tell me, they're like, "So you don't work for a living?" I said, "No, I don't work. I don't do anything. I just." I'm like, "You've got no clue what I do, and you're here standing there trying to judge me, and I'm just in the back of my head. I don't even entertain the conversation anymore because they have no clue what it means to take responsibility for a community, for children, for something greater than yourself. They're like, "Oh, I can have a job." I was like, anybody can go get a job. That's easy. Now let's get some work done and take responsibility for things. That's a whole new world.
Yeah, Monica doesn't do things like that are important for mucus and pus. Like she does things important for herself, her children, like stepping up to the plate, providing for her children, like doing actually important things like that will transform people's lives. And yeah, like she does do a lot, but it may not matter to you if you're like super plugged into that mucus and pus. Yeah.
Totally. Brady, you were gonna say something? Do you still remember that thought?
Yeah. No, I'm looking at the format, and sometimes like all this AI and all this stuff, the style of it now. It's like sometimes you bring back these old formats and these old styles of like that old newsletter and things like that. And it's like handing stuff like that out at events or just like making things a little retro sometimes can
Such a good
really
idea.
pull people in, because all this AI, like I'm not a fan of all this art that's out there now and all the things that look very like dystopian and you throw things back a couple centuries or century or two and just like looking at all those old books. Like I love reading old books and just kind of the paper that they're made out of and the format and the style of them. But
get the AI to make an old style book.
No, these
Finding
are like
new solutions.
handmade type of stuff. It's just a different kind of
Yeah,
care
it's
that's
a whole
put into
different. Yeah, the craftsmanship, the
all
artistry.
Wow. Yeah, these are your master copies, right, Spira? At least that's what I remember.
Yeah, and that was because I had gotten those and photocopied them way years ago, like way before I was able. Now I do have some versions of those older ones, but I don't now that enter the internal uncleanliness of men. That was a special edition thing that Hirsch or no, that was actually put out by, I kept saying Hirsch, but that Benedict Less put that out. But there's always been efforts to try to put out condensed versions of the Mucusless Diet, and it just has the lessons 3, 4, 5, then 15 and 16 in a pamphlet form, and that was something that they were putting out. But I had just found those things years ago on interlibrary loan, and so I would have these things come in, read through them, then photocopy them, and then send them back. Return them back to the library. But yeah, those were the master copies that I used when I made our versions. So yeah, that's the
history.
The history.
Archives of mucus-free origins. MDHS origins.
Oh, this was the photo. I was showing you guys some of the old photos. That was the old.
Yeah, it was cool.
The days of protesting, going to just a rant. I mean, just imagine me, brother Air, his son Takora, other kids, just the Khalif's kids, and we all just show up at this random community picnic thing that's public. And they're giving away free hot dogs and free food. They got a pig on a spit up in there, and we're outside the event protesting it. No one knows who we are, nothing. They're just like, what are these people? And then they're playing music. We got signs, said grilling is killing, and all that kind of stuff. And people are just so confused walking by, like, what are you, trying to give us money? It's like, no, we're protesting. We're not accepting money.
They're so confused. They just think, wait, maybe try this.
That's how much they could not even see your message. That's how constipated they were.
Yeah. They were just,
here's the money.
Like,
what?
Like, I don't want your money. Here's an apple. Come on.
And then Benita, brother Air's wife, she went in the festival and just started regulating. I mean, she just had a big old sign just going in people's faces, like, look, y'all are messing up. That's the old best band in the city days. That's the birth of Professor Spira, because somebody had asked that question. And, we was up in Chicago. Taste of Chicago. We went up there. I was talking about that experience where it's almost like this rite of passage to go to some event that's just totally pus and mucus based, and that's high school me. Totally pus and mucus based, and you're fasting, and everybody around you is just eating, just total gluttony, and you're just from that you have an out-of-body kind of experience of just realizing, like, whoa. And then the longer you're doing this, especially you do some of those longer fasts and that kind of stuff, you get to a point where what you've been doing day after day. You're not eating every day. And you're looking at people as like, these people are actually eating multiple times per day, every day. They're not taking any breaks. Just 3 times a day, every day, and now there people, it's eating more. What the Taco Bell tried to do a campaign, what was like the 6th meal of the day or something.
Yeah. Man,
to ramp up your metabolism, right? 6 meals a day, baby.
Yeah, you gotta get that.
That was that whole thing.
That midnight meal. You gotta get
the
midnight meal in.
Gotta keep it active.
Yeah, street team is bringing that type of vibe back. We're about to bring that back. So, like, if you see like street team for Mucusless Diet, like that's pretty much what we're trying to do in this modern day, which is like very much needed. Like especially as things are just getting worse and worse in terms of eating. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Guerrilla tactics.
There we go.
Yeah.
Flyers and stickers and galore. You can't block that yet.
The midnight meal reminded me, I just heard something in India. Nowadays, people do like a midnight biryani because it's 50% cheaper. And I'm thinking it's 50% cheaper because that's a leftover from the whole day.
Exactly.
Midnight, having that crap and eating it, God. Just so
sell it all.
The food in India is just getting worse and worse. Like they're putting cheese on everything. The cheese naan, the cheese, and then you have the pizza with all the Indian sauces all over it, and then it's just disgusting.
Well, it makes sense for business because cheese is casomorphine. So if you can add drugs, to food to make it more addictive, it just brings in more profit.
And they've all been convinced that like dairy is the best thing in the world. And you look at them, like the kids are now like this big, and it's just.
Well, yeah, it's all around the world. It's all folks that were hanging on to some semblance of some kind of rational culture have just now just given it all up, and it's all coming in this Western direction. More cheese, more meat, more whatever.
More
Yeah, and in
disease.
India, there's a little less of the meat because there's a bigger vegetarian culture. But I mean, whatever they lack in meat, it's like, I mean, they have the meat too, but like even the people who don't eat meat, they're like gorging extra on the cheese and the ghee, which has been like turned into this, like, people worship it. And but it's interesting because that's only really in like the urban parts. The rural parts, you go there, you don't see a single fat person. You don't,
Right.
not even a reality. There's no, like, I went to help out at what with chords activities in India, and we visited the villages, and then we visited the school, and they were classifying the kids, and there was like normal. They classified them by weight. There was normal weight, underweight, and very underweight. And I was like, wait, there's no overweight column here. Like there's, and they were like, yeah, because overweight is not a reality. No, there's like zero overweight people. But yeah.
Yeah, when the food is more or less natural, you don't gain weight as easily. Yeah,
Mhm.
even if it's not the right food.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like we said, we got work to do. A lot of work to do, but it's happening. It's coming together, and people are starting to really understand that pus and mucus is the foundation of all the ills of society, all of the whatever's going on out there. Some kind of there's some kind of shooting. What were they eating? That's the first question. That's the only question you really need to ask out of everything. What were they eating?
And drinking.
And drinking, but what becomes before the drinking is the eating,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
you're not drinking any kind of whatever alcohols or that kind of stuff when you're relatively cleaned out. You
Yeah,
can't
that's
do it.
true.
It's not.
Can't handle it anymore.
You can't handle it. It doesn't do the same thing. It doesn't make you feel good. If it didn't really ever make you feel good, it numbed you and messed with your brain chemistry and things. But you get to actually feel what it really feels like, the real poison. You
Yeah,
clean
you were
yourself up.
feeling the side effects of being poisoned, and you're like, oh, this is interesting. Like, why would this be interesting? That's terrible. I mean,
Yeah,
I used to do it myself, so I mean, I'm talking from experience, but
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
it
you
was
get the
it was
craving for it. You
it
know.
was a it was more like a social thing,
Yeah.
because I mean, not many people started drinking like by themselves.
Yeah,
Most
socially,
people
it was fun
started
because
socially and became like, oh, I gotta keep drinking by
it
But
makes it easier to socialize without those inhibitions. And that was, for me, like, I think the last time I had it was 6 months in, and I was at a conference where they just had free wine, and I was having it every day, not even that much, because I knew, like, I wanted to be careful, but also it was so tempting when it was there, and I would have like 2 cups every night at that conference, and I started to feel worse and worse every day. It was like 3 days, and then by the third day, I just got super sick, and I was sick for a week after that, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this forever. And then after that, I've never gotten sick like that ever again. So
Oh, yeah, because it disables your immune system. For like
yeah.
30 days, I think it turns it off. So, you know, that's the problem. That's why people work out or they have some kind of like wounds or whatever. If they drink, that heals so slowly. When
Mhm.
I used to drink, I experienced that. When you have like this muscle pain or lactic acid, and then you have a drink, oh my God, it takes like a week for the muscles to recover. Now, like on MDHS, like there's no like lactic acid, so it's like just keep it rolling.
Hey, Mr.
I,
Nature.
I made a friend.
Yuki.
Oh,
Oh, precious.
yeah, Yuki's awesome.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
working on her transition too.
Yeah.
Slowly.
We'll have you on here sometime just to talk about animal transition, because that's that's a topic I know a lot of people would be really interested in. is
A controversial
a
topic.
controversial topic.
Yeah, like animal abuse. What is that?
People are
Oh.
animal.
Oh, what are you doing with this
They're
animal?
carnivores. You gotta
Speaking of animal abuse, you know what they do? Like this is something that people don't talk a whole lot about in the universities, and even I don't think about it all the time. But all these pharmaceutical drugs that they're coming out with, all of them, all that research starts in the universities, and what they do to these animals. Basically, everything is tested on either rats or guinea pigs or other similar animals, ferrets. And even bigger animals. And the kind of torture that they're put through, it's like it doesn't even. You see a factory farm, but like think factory farm, but I don't know, 10 times worse than that. And it's the kinds of things they do. Like they'll remove parts of the brain, they'll remove body parts just for fun, and then at the end of all of it, they'll just kill them, whether or not they were like. Yeah, it's just like playing God, like pretending like we have authority over, we can do whatever we want to any being on this planet. And just thinking about like if that's the approach they bring to the tests for the medicines, think about what they're like. That's the whole vibration that they're bringing to making their medicines to begin with. So what are their medicines actually doing to you? Like thinking about it in that way, then it really makes you think, okay, do I really want to consume a drug that was produced through this process? And these were the intentions that were put into making this thing, like intentions of torture and death. Like because
it almost makes you look at the lab itself. Is the lab there to discover something with the animals, or is the lab there to create psychopaths?
Mm-hmm.
Psychopathic humans, because that's what it's developed to get to develop psychopaths in here. Because you have to definitely shut off a part of yourself to be able to go in here and torture these animals like this.
Yeah, because any biology class I ever took, I never showed up to the ones where they did the animals. I didn't care what grade they gave me. I'm like, I'm not hurting anything. I'm sorry.
Well, I remember
sorry, I'm not sorry.
the fetal when I was in freshman year of high school. They used to do the fetal pig dissection,
Mm-hmm.
and because they're trying to find out who's interested in science, who's who finds this interesting, and
who's interested in psychopathy.
I'll never forget that smell of the frog, the dissected frog.
I got the frog
formaldehyde or whatever they were using.
Yeah, I got the frog. I didn't get the pig, but same.
Awful, man.
Same thing.
And I did my undergrad in Johns Hopkins, which is like the central hub of the world of this kind of stuff. And there were occasionally protests, outside the buildings, but like no one would pay them any attention. And I've heard talks like of people talking about like, oh, we're doing this on the rat model, and we're gonna cure this disease, we're gonna cure Alzheimer's, but like at what cost? What are you doing? Like they don't have that conception in their head because they're eating this stuff every day, so I guess they don't even
Will they though? Will they really cure anything? I mean, come on.
No, they're not gonna cure anything. All they know is killing.
And then a lot of this stuff, it's like
chemicals. Yeah, right.
They say that they're working on
cure
makeup. It's like why you got to slaughter an animal to test out some kind of chemical concoction makeup? Like what kind of weird?
They shove it in their eyes. They put it up their nose. They do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Ooh, some psychology research going on here. Some really important, really important discoveries that are about to be made.
Yeah, that translates to the human body perfectly.
Now I'm actually remembering that thing with the Alzheimer's. It was literally about injecting things into the brain, like injecting drugs into the brain, and then like, I have no words. That talk, hearing that just made me so upset.
I'm gonna go watch Earthlings.
I should have known because it was just like that. that's what they do every day. So like, why am I even surprised? But just hearing them talk about it and being so proud of it, like this is such a great achievement, and then hearing everyone clap at the end, and I'm just sitting there like not knowing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, just sickening, man. And this is what we talk about when we say, you know, this is pus and mucus poisoning, pus and mucus based society. All of this comes out of pus and mucus eating. Period. You know, and you can challenge me on that, and we can, you know, do your research and find me somebody running one of these labs, somebody running a slaughterhouse. Find me the commission or the board of trustees or whatever that is putting these things together that aren't pus and mucus eaters. I dare you. Go find that. Go find a bunch of fruit and vegetable eaters that have been doing that for many years that are doing this. That this was like, okay, this is, oh, it's for the greater good. No, you're giving psychopaths a playground. The psychopathic playground for people that are sick.
Or you're creating psychopaths out of people who are normal.
Who might have been normal, you know?
Yeah.
Because anybody,
because they're praised for it, you know, they're given the
you get patted on the back, like, oh, you're
the positive
heroes.
Reinforcement is thrown in there like it's a good thing.
Well, and it's the tradition of Francois Magendie is alive and well. What they learned with Francois was don't be public with it. Shh.
And don't do it on dogs in public, because people have a soft spot for dogs, but they don't care about any other animal.
Right.
So it only comes out in like all these headlines whenever it's dogs, like with Fauci, whatever he did with the dogs. Like here, Dr. Oz doing something with the dogs. Whenever it's dogs, then it makes headlines. When it's any other animal, oh, we don't care about those animals. They're just like it's completely
there to be sacrificed for the greater good.
Oh, we ought to make the Thus Speak of the Stomach
Precious
book club
little
have a whole segment on this. Where does evil come from? Because they still don't know, and they're writing all these philosophical and psychological theories about this, and it's like it's right in front of your face, like you are eating people.
Because absolutely none of this is necessary, and they try to, you know, they come and say, oh, we're doing cancer research, we're on to something, and we
so
gave
how come
this
more
injection.
people are dead and more people have cancer than ever before?
Yeah, all those
like,
billions
where's all
of dollars
that money going?
go to
Where's
waste.
that going? You know.
Well, I know where all that money's going.
and it's never on prevention. It's already after the fact. You already, you know, hit the point of no return, and now they're gonna try to save you. But never for prevention or reduction. Always just some magic pill that don't exist.
Yeah, it's always
there is one magic pill that exists. It's in a little circle form. It's dark purple. It's called a grape. Try it.
They got some mustard gas for you. That's what they got.
I mean, how do you not see like a human, I see emotions, I see beings, like these, they all have their own personalities.
Right. As we say, underdeveloped humans.
Yeah.
I think it's a human that went so far down the wrong end. Now they came back like this.
Like you have these cannibal tribes that you see, and then I feel like hundreds of years from now, people are going to be looking back and think, or maybe less than hundreds of years, but people are going to be looking back at the society today.
I was going to say right now.
The cannibals.
But well, you're right, and that's one of the messages that I've always tried to convey for anybody that thinks that we're the height of sophistication, the height of humanity, and post Renaissance era, just technologically advanced. Like anytime you think humanity is on some kind of high level, then and that you're at a higher level than they were in the Middle Ages or the so-called medieval times, or look at all these different people around the world and throughout history and the stuff. It's like nothing is different except there's a little added
Actually, much
technology.
worse. Like the
Made it worse.
medieval ages didn't have this. They didn't
No.
have this going on.
Right. No. And
Yeah,
so
millions.
that's definitely, and that's how I look at things.
Progressively worse.
Yeah.
It's just better hidden sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Well, on the other hand, the Middle Ages didn't have us doing the mucusless diet like this.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a few different things to look at that's interesting from a philosophical standpoint, because when I see these animals, the first question I ask is, what did they eat in a past life that put them in this position? That they degenerated down into a situation where they are being tortured by psychopathic humans. They've done something, their little souls, so you simultaneously be empathetic, but then there's this understanding of like, okay, what can we learn from this? Let's learn that whatever, because we people never take into consideration the repercussions of every animal that you put into your body, that you become a part of the torture and death of that animal. You don't think that there's repercussions. You don't think that there is a cause and effect that is going to be imprinted into your soul and your spirit. So just because society thinks that it's a cute thing, or that it's we're going fishing, and you get this fish and it's all freaking out, and you take a picture of it smiling. You don't think that you do that over and over and over again, and then you wake up one day
and you are
in a cage being poked and messed with and prodded. But that now we're talking about a level of consciousness of actually taking this information. Like you say, we're about the food. It's like, no, it's about the reconstruction of the bloodstream and the total transformation of humanity to put this in the dustbin of history, because this is unacceptable. But it takes that downward spiral of just total constipation. This is what all this is constipation. That is masqueraded. They've hid it away. They put all the Rockefeller money and that whole history of universities and science departments, and just there's a whole kind of rabbit hole to get into there. But it's a level of consciousness that you become very well acquainted with on the transition diet. Like I don't have to it's like I don't have to teach this or talk about this, because you will go through this. You will have these realizations whether somebody talks about it or not when you're on this path. That's the power of this path. That's why we tell people is read the book. Read the Mucusless Diet book. All this isn't discussed in the Mucusless Diet book. It doesn't have to be, because as you start to change your physiology, these realizations come constantly in those early days, those early years. You start to realize. I mean, there was times where when I started having these realizations, I'd just start crying. Like, I've been contributing to this. I've been a part of this. What have I done? What is going on? I can't, and you have to let it go. You have to process it and let it go, and then commit to doing better, commit to cleaning yourself up, and then being a small part of putting this entire reality in the dustbin of history. And that's what sometimes people don't understand our energy when we come, or me and Brother Air get on here with the state of the mucus, and we're saying there's nothing in this pus and mucus realm. There is almost nothing worth saving. It all needs to be, we need to start over again and put that there. And if we're gonna, we the things that are worth saving, we've already have them. We have our library. we have the information that we need. I was gonna say breadcrumbs. It's always some stupid food with our expressions, but we have what we need to figure out how to get out of this cave, this cave of despair and darkness and just pus drenched reality, because you say we don't, this is, you can't have both. You can't have this going on and then you have Thanksgiving, and that's why I get so bent out of shape with the Thanksgiving, because this is at the foundation of all that. It's that hidden thing, but then everybody bring, this is this great thing. It's family. We're coming together, and it's love. And it's like, no, it's not love. It's murder. It's ignorance, and it's premature aging and premature death. Yeah. So welcome when you end up, and that's why I always then bring it back to the nursing homes and the hospices. When you end up in the hospital, when you end up with that diagnosis, when you end up with the doctor telling you that you need to take such and such medicine, that where there's a high probability that the medicine itself is going to kill you, then be aware. Have the wisdom to remember this. Remember, oh yeah, I was okay. And then just be in a space of acceptance at that point, because you made your decision. You had an opportunity to take a different path, because we're showing you there's another path to take that allows you to totally take yourself out of and remove yourself from this insanity. But you have to decide to go down that path. We're showing you there's another way to live. There's another way to enjoy the company of your fellow humans. That's not based on and just death and torture, pain and suffering. It becomes the cycle. Do you want to be a part of the cycle of pain and suffering? Or you want to emancipate yourself away from that?
Yeah, I can't understand. Like, they can see a sheep and then they say, "Oh, dinner," and I'm just like, "Oh man, I'd love to just go snuggle him and go hug him." Just, like I wouldn't want to do anything to it. Like, just give it love and just be like, "Hey, what's up? Want to hang out?"
Kid looks happy, huh?
The kids and the deer. Like, my kids were, when we were at that park, they saw some deer, and they were over there hanging out with the deer in the woods. Like, not
right.
that.
Yeah, no,
that.
Right.
I mean? Like, this is slaughter. This is terrible. And my kids are over there. "Oh, Mama, I got, like, I touched the deer and it didn't run away." Like, oh man.
I'm gonna start making memes out of these kids.
Me and Reese talked about this. He grew up in this world right here with the
bless your heart, Reese. Bless your
redneck type of vibes.
Hunting.
And it's just, and this is really aggravating, because I live in a place where I live, like, I have deer that sleep in my backyard, like full families of deer. And the most I'd seen one time 12 deer walk past in a line in my backyard. I was just sitting there, and they just were passing through like it's a deer crossing. And they're just, it just the thought of a human, I'm gonna take this gun. Here's this deer that it's just standing there. It's eating its leaves. It's not hurting anybody. and you think it's a sport to shoot this thing,
Mm.
if the only sport would be no gun, no knife, you chase the deer and jump on it. If you can chase the deer, that's always my deal with you. If you want to be a carnivore, cool. If you can chase the deer, you can jump on its back, sink your super sharp canine teeth into its neck, break its neck, and then start feasting on it, then I will give you carnivore-based respect. You can get my respect as a carnivore then. But you're going to be taking guns and knives and slaughtering animals, thinking that you're some big shot, you're some great human, got my testosterone, I'm a man, I killed this animal. It's like, you are pathetic is what you are. You're pathetic. And think about that when you are looking at the ceiling of a hospital room, or when you're rolling yourself down to bingo in the nursing home. Think about
what do you think of the people say, like, it's better to, at least do that rather than like have someone else do it for you and eat that, because then you're like pretending like you're not
These are supermarket carnivores, we call them.
Yeah, I mean, it's all
all the same though.
The spectrum of psychopathy. Psychopathy. It's like, where are you on the spectrum? Are you on the spectrum of you kill it yourself and eat it, or are you at the spectrum of somebody else kills it, you never see it, and you just have it on this plate in front of you? And
I feel like killing it yourself and eating it is being more honest to yourself, and being more grounded in the reality of what you're doing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm saying it's less of a bad feeling to me.
All of it needs to go.
Let's agree with that.
All of it needs,
because a lot of the
there's
problem.
no right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just different levels of ignorance, and I'm not even separating them anymore with that, because that is the argument they like to make, that like, oh well, we kill, because first of all, none of these people kill all of it. They kill it all. This is like a sport, so they kill a little bit and then they're like, okay, we'll eat it and prepare it, but that's like recreation. That's just, they don't have to do that, because all these pus-based systems have been created to mass produce all of this deadly so-called food.
Yeah, you just hunt for money.
See the title of this picture here with the kid and the deer? It's like, what do you think about a kid who kills animals? Do you think they have the tendency to be a serial killer? They are a serial killer.
They are a serial killer, and everyone who eats meat is a serial killer. I don't know if that's okay for me to say on YouTube, but
technically,
it's
it wouldn't be the first video that gets
see how long it lasts, right?
Yeah, that's so funny.
I think we've been mild enough.
The memes are coming.
Brady's foreshadowing. Beware.
Because this started here, so it's like, okay, so the same people, they do a good job of sanitizing this. So a lot of these are actors. I like, sometimes I try to find you have to dig to find the real pictures of the elder abuse. But those are the kind of connections you make from the abuse in the slaughterhouse, abuse in the lab testing, abuse in the nursing home, abuse in the home, people that whoop the heck out of their children, and that's a whole other discussion. That's another one of those discussions people get excited about that are controversial, that have a panel. Should you whip your children? Yes or no? And because there's a lot of people that they do that old school, like, well, I'm from the old school, and I was whooped and I whooped my kids, and so we whoop, and pass the slavery on, the slave-based traditions.
And keep in mind, some states it's still legal to do so, like outside of the home. Like that's why I moved out of South Carolina.
In public.
Because my kids were at a babysitter's when I went to work, and they got my little one came home and told me she got spanked, and I was like, what? And I literally
other people touching your children.
Other people, yeah, and it's legal. It's perfectly legal in other states. Yeah. Like I don't even do that. You
in other countries and schools, the teacher will hit your knuckle.
All she was doing is Mia was throwing Legos at another kid from behind a door. And I was like, oh no. I literally had a real good job, getting paid really well. And I put my 2 weeks notice, you're being watched by grandma. And I moved clear across the country again. I was like, no, this is not happening. No question in my mind that no. Like I'm surrounded by people who this is okay with. And yeah, no, it's not working for me. Not for 1 second.
Yeah.
They never returned.
So Spira, you're saying that the full circle doesn't end here. So like with all the things that people do wrong in their lives, like it doesn't stop here. Like it's just gonna go. Yeah. So like that's the question, I guess, is like what happens with those hunters, and what happens with all the people eating pus and mucus forming foods and contributing to all the pain and suffering in the world.
Right.
So what happens to you?
So what happens is, so if you want to go from whooping the elder and torturing the animal, then what happens? You become the animal that's being tortured. You become the animal that's being slaughtered.
Yeah.
Why not? Why would that theory or that philosophy be so far-fetched? Because everybody wants to try to create their mythology, their heaven mythologies. I'm gonna go and be back with my family, and I'm gonna do this, and when I die, everything's I'll be judged by. What'd you say?
Happily ever after.
Yeah, happily ever after.
With the animals.
The pearly gates and all this.
It gives them permission to continue the behavior till they die. And that's what they want. They want permission to continue without any responsibility whatsoever for their actions.
Because we can write the inspirational mythologies, but we can also rewrite Dante's Inferno or the Divine Comedy and all the 9 circles of hell based on this paradigm.
Right.
And I believe all the answers, we don't have to think about them. They exist right now in the plane that is here. The torture is there. Until we stop torturing, then the torture cycle ends. Until we stop killing, the killing cycle ends. And they're like, oh, well, in nature, animals kill. I was like, yeah, but where did they learn it from? From us.
Right.
They think, oh, we learned it from them. No. No, I don't believe that, for 1 second.
Yeah. And this always comes to mind, the classic images in some versions of the newer Bhagavad Gitas with that show that cycle, and it's not, and it's, I approach it from philosophical standpoint, not a religious standpoint. It's just let's use a little bit of logic, put things forward. If in our own lives we can see cause and effect play out all the time and time again, cause and effect is playing out. So then it's like, okay, well, if there's a cause, you're torturing animals, which, if you're thinking of in terms of morality, if you're thinking in terms of trying to build some kind of rationality. Would it not be better if you can live without harming an animal, and if you can live even better at a higher level, longer, with less pain and suffering, without slaughtering and harming an animal? Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't that be better to do? Would that not be just? And it becomes pretty simple. But this is what addiction looks like. Addiction to pus and mucus eating, not addiction to cooked food. Cooked food isn't at the foundation of this. The eating of pus and mucus forming foods is at the foundation of this. There's no cooked greens and steamed cauliflower and broccoli is not at the foundation of this. No, it's not. But the eating of constipating, mucus forming foods and pus forming foods, that is at the foundation of this and leads to the gluttony. And here they showing you, you want to eat like a pig, you're gonna die like a pig. You can live like a pig. Eat like a slave, you're gonna die like a slave. And you don't, and there's no respite. You don't, because that's the theory. That's the thing that modern, so many different religions and theologies and philosophies want to try to sweeten you in your ignorance to think that you can be filthy here on this plane of existence and be rewarded on some other plane of existence when you leave here. Well, you couldn't get it together here. You couldn't figure this out. This isn't rocket science. This is some basic back to nature, living in some kind of alignment with nature thing. But no, we got to complicate it and try to rationalize it. And you think that at the end, when it's all said and done, you're going to be able to go and, so you start looking at in movies and different depictions of the concept of people's heavens, and they're up in heaven eating the Thanksgiving dinner every day. It's like, oh, unlimited. That's the idea. That's the pus and mucus based heaven, is the heaven of gluttony. You can eat and never age and never get diseases and never there's no cancer, there's no nothing, when we have that already. It's called
not the base of addiction. I don't know what is.
Yeah. This is great. This is yeah. Because it's like, would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, or be better off than you are, or would you rather be a pig? Is that what you want? You want to live like a pig, be a pig, live like a dog? Is that you want to be owned? You want to be owned by a human, be one of the lucky ones, or maybe you end up in with an owner that wants you to be a fighting dog, and you can be go be a MMA fighting dog and do the fight. Go kill other animals until you get killed, and then so it's pus and mucus.
We started at arid day, and then we got
tragedy
down
of nutrition.
Right. Yeah, exactly. This is putting this in the dustbin of history. But to understand this, because this is just, to me, like what we're talking about, this is, for us, this is basic. It's like basic wisdom. This is wisdom 101. Like, everybody should know this stuff. But in this timeline, in this situation, there's very few that do, for whatever reason. They're not making these connections. And but the sooner you can start making these connections and realize what you've been born into, what you've been participating in, then the sooner you can start to move toward real freedom. Not just freedom in your mind, but real physiological freedom and psychological freedom. And this path, the mucus-free path, takes you down that road. And we've been talking a lot in the coaching program with folks about how this path forces you to address your emotional obstructions. You have to deal with them. You can't push them down and hide them. They're going to force themselves to the surface, and you need to know how to let them go. Because when you start to look again, every animal that you ate, you became one with the pain and suffering of that animal. And when these animals are being slaughtered, they know oftentimes they know they're about to be killed. Sometimes they're abused at the time of death. They have all of those all of that they're putting into their body, the hormones and all the different chemicals and things that's going into their body that get frozen in there as soon as they're killed, and that ends up in their system. And then you eat that and you wonder why you have anxiety, why you have headaches, why you have back pain, why you have all of the different ailments that people have accepted as just part of the human experience. That's genetic, and all these lies that you've been told, you forget. And that becomes a big part of it, which is an interesting thing to think about with our human experience, is how much we forget our mind, this mind wipe concept of where there's so much that we forget, to the point where we forget this. We forget, when people start going down those lines of talking about, Earth it's just a school for our soul. Oh, that's a cute idea, but there's no school that would give you a mind wipe so that you forgot what happened before we're not going to mind wipe you before you go to the next grade. You're going to bring all of that with you to learn. So there's something else going on here. I think there's something else a little more sinister afoot when it comes to when we find ourselves in these positions, in these circumstances. But we get back to the classic philosophy, understanding where we are on this cycle, the pus and mucus based cycle, so-called life and death. But understanding that this thing, you start looking at it through the lens of through a physiological lens, as opposed to a spiritual, just only spiritual, or only philosophical, or only theological or something. You start looking at it and applying a physiological understanding to it. All of this comes to life in a whole different way, in a whole different level. And it starts getting really clear. It's like, why don't we just love the animals? You don't have to eat it. You have to eat the animal. You're supposed to, you don't have to eat your children. And that'll be a rabbit hole. Anyway, that's a whole other. There's parts of the Bible that say you're gonna you'll be punished by eating your children.
And there are certain species that do, and that could
certain
be
species that do.
right, and that could be the ones that you get reborn into if you don't get your ish together.
Right. That's it.
And that's what Ehret Day is all about, everybody.
And that,
right.
In a nutshell, this is
that was
Ehret Day in a nutshell.
That was a mic drop.
That was awesome. And so I guess we made it. We made our 4-hour quota for this session here. And let's see, was there any questions in the chat? Did anybody? How old are you? I don't know who are we asking? Are we asking Brady how old he is?
Brady, how old are you?
26. Yeah.
Oh, we talk about Professor
I don't know if
Spira.
that's about me.
Oh, me. Well, not me. Everybody knows how old I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, at Arid Day, you can't tell who. Like, that's the thing that I was.
Yeah, you can't tell how old anyone is.
You can't tell how old anybody is.
Like Randy said he's like
Oh,
he's 64,
man.
and I was like, what? You don't look a day over 50, and I was, yeah, it was just mind blowing.
Even then, I'd put him in his 40s.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, the slow. Well, that's why I went from when I was 19. I went from looking like I was in my 30s, and then I went to look like I was like 15.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the restart where I was like, okay, let's go back there, and then let's just age as slow as we can. And
that's the idea.
Well, we were talking about that, like practicing the mucusless diet, like it just flips everything. So it's like people have their highest level of vitality when they're youngest in our world today, but then you start practicing the mucusless diet, and it's like you'll be at your lowest vitality when you're like super young,
right?
And then you have like Takora like climbing a 70-foot tree and
incredible,
just making everybody look silly.
Mm-hmm.
All the young
folk.
folk.
Man, I handed her a peach. It was probably like that big, and she goes, "Oh, thank you, my dinner." Really? tell me, elders in the mucus and pus world that they call that dinner. It's incredible.
Yeah. So we'll wrap it on up here, and we'll first I'll do one more plug for anybody that's interested in working with us, plugging in with the community. If you want to be a part of all this, I will invite you to join us for the Mucus-Free Diet and Lifestyle Coaching Program. I'm going to put a link in the chat right now for a discovery call. You can jump on the call, find out if it's a right fit for you, if this would be something that you would want to be a part of and do and work with us directly. And you got a little bit of a little taste of some of the kind of stuff that we get into just on a regular basis, a daily basis. This is where we're at. But of course, in the coaching program, we get a lot deeper into your particular situation, what you need to do physiologically to overcome your particular battles of whatever you're going through, your ailments and issues and so on and so forth. So, and we have a number of people that's on here that's been through the program. And what'd you think of the program, Monica?
I loved it. Oh my gosh, it's like what's it called, exponential growth when you do the slope. Like, okay, this is me trying to do the mucusless diet, right? I'm getting a little better. Then you get the e-course, and then it's like you hit that. So then you take the coaching, and then it's just bam, like just like.
Yeah,
there are not words like of how much it changes. You can watch all the videos, you can read the book yourself, but when you have it laid out like that, and it's basically like pulling you into that community part, that part that you don't get by yourself, and yes, we believe we can do everything on our own. Trust me, I have that mindset all by myself. Like, oh, I don't need anybody, blah blah blah. But at some point it gets real, and this is gonna humble you multiple times over again, and just accept you don't know nothing, and accept that this community is here to, like, for your actual well-being. Like, I have never been a part of a community who cares more about its people and having them succeed, like concerned, oh my gosh, you're fasting too long, how long have you been doing this, like, because we want you to be here for the long run. We're not interested in just come in and do it for a minute, and okay, Pete, it wasn't for you, see you later. No, like, we genuinely care for each and every person and want them to succeed, because if they succeeded, then we're succeeding, and that means our community is thriving and humanity is thriving. Like, and that's our purpose. It's never from a selfish point of view. So, like, I don't know what you're waiting for.
Well,
Yeah.
I had similar experiences to Monica. I was doing it on my own for 1.5 years, and I have like my scientist mindset where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a scientist, I can figure this out. And I had Spira's YouTube videos and everything, and I was, doing it on my own, but I was alone. I didn't have the community, I didn't have any of that. And then when I joined the e-course, that just completely opened up everything. And the whole I didn't even know that there was a community like this. Like, even though I was plugging into the YouTube videos, I was, reading the book, all that, but it completely changes everything having that community.
so you
And
believe me
then
now, huh?
what?
I said you believe me now, huh? I was like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, when I first was gonna join the e-course, I was very hesitant because I didn't know what I was really getting into, and I wasn't sure if it was right for me. But then, yeah, Brady uh, convinced me, and and then more recently, I was in the coaching program, which, like, joining the e-course and the community and all that, that was like already like a huge step up. But then, yeah, the coaching program really like blasted me off into space. It's just cannot even describe. Yeah. And I met my accountability partner, JC.
Hey, what's going on? If I can hop in here,
Yeah.
if you're like ready to change your life, you go to the coaching program. Because what Spirit does, if you already have a grasp, or if you're new to the mucusless diet, you start to enter into a realm of vitality that you've probably never experienced in your entire life. So suddenly you have all this new mental and physical energy to work with, and your character starts to break down because you've been so used to being tired at 3 p.m. after your 2 p.m. lunch, being wiped at 5 p.m. after a day of work. But suddenly you're coming home and it's like, I can do another 3, 4, 5 hours of the stuff that I love. And if you do have a grasp on the mucusless diet and you already have a mucus-free mindset, then you transition into Spira's perspective of the mucusless diet, which is an entirely different level. That's decades of nuances that you have access to. And so I think it's the greatest thing ever. I personally got so much out of it because I already had a grasp of the mechanics. So where you can go in and converse with him about like, hey, this is what I think I should do in this situation. What, like, is that correct? And boom, you get a novel about all the different options. Yeah, it's so worth the money. I was hesitant at first. I struggle with separating from money like that. It was the best thing I ever did. Seriously.
Yeah, and I was hesitant not only about the e-course but also the coaching program. I was hesitant whether I wanted to join because it is a significant amount of money, but when you really think about it, the amount that this program costs compared to similar programs, it's like a fraction of the cost, and the benefits you get from this is just, you can't even compare. And you might think like, oh, I'm too advanced for this. There's no such thing. Like, I had been doing, when I started this, probably 2.5 years into the mucusless diet, but then the questions you have and the whole coaching thing, then actually that's even better, because now you're not asking questions about all this basic stuff that you should already know. You're asking, like, the questions you're asking and the answers you're getting are at such a like high level and so much deeper, and you're getting that much more benefit. So I definitely think it's worth it for anyone who's feeling that call to take it to the next level.
Yeah. Thank you all for the podcast testimonials for the program. And but yeah, definitely invite everybody. This is the opportunity. Click the link, look in the chat, click the link, join us on this epic journey. Like I said, this is round 2 coming up, and this might be the last opportunity for this year. There's no guarantee with these because we like I said, we don't. So yeah, definitely jump on board, and then that gives you all this stuff that we're talking about here, all this, this is a way to be a part of that, to jump into that, to get the invitation to all these things, and be a part of the movement, to be able to help yourself and help other people. Like this is the piece, like all of the stuff that people say they want, and they want to, they save the planet and save the animals and clean the air and all this kind of stuff. It's like, this is the foundation of all of that, because you can't, as I said years ago, you can't go green while you sucking on a chicken wing. Ain't gonna happen. There ain't no going green, and we're gonna green energy, and
or a lab grown chicken wing.
Yeah, lab grown chicken wing. No, yeah, no, none of that's gonna be it. This is the way to go. Back to nature in a rational way, and in a way that is where we use technology in smart ways to help us transform our physiology. And so, yeah, we definitely encourage all of you, sign up, jump on a call with us, and see if this is the right path for you. So I want to thank everybody here that was on the panel, and we'll go around the circle here and let everybody give your final thoughts on Ehret Day, and your final things that you want to leave with the brothers and sisters listening at home and listening in the future, because people will be watching this video far into the future. Let's start with just go around. Start with Miriam.
Yeah, so Ehret Day, too amazing, too awesome, too incredible. Like, you need to be there next year. I hope to see like more people there, more women. Gotta like represent the women, okay? And yeah, like Mucusless Diet, like you can literally pay back your karmic debt in full with this path. Like, you don't have to wait until you're old, getting beat by a freaking nurse because you messed up and you didn't take this path, right? So yeah, like Mucusless Diet, like come on, like come on through, and do the Mucusless Diet. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. Your karmic debt, you fulfill your karmic debt in full. Yeah, I like that. That's a good quote. And all right, Annie.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone for just being such an amazing community, because I've never had anything like this in my life, and it's just kind of unprecedented for me, and yeah, it's been amazing. Ehret Day was amazing. Every day of my life is exciting now, in a way that it just wasn't before, and that's, yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
All right, Monica.
There's a beautiful invention called an enema bag that is just epic. You want to talk about,
we didn't even talk about that. That was a whole
paying your karmic debts. Like, get yourself an enema bag, get yourself some lemons, get yourself cleaned up, and then watch this video again.
Lemon rind.
Yeah, and I don't know if JC got any footage of that. That might be the private Ehret, but just when everybody, you have a whole house of people that are doing enemas all day, just all, and it's totally normal. No one's weird. No one's like look. It's like, no, this is how we live. This is totally normal. You got the young people. You're fixing up their enema in the evening, and you got folks getting up early in the morning. They get their enema in, and it's like, man, that's just a beautiful thing. That's a total. I mean, when you talk about culture shift, like that's a whole different reality that you bringing in, of that level of cleanliness and that level of seriousness of transforming your physiology and doing so as a group. That's remarkable.
You can't brush your teeth and not do enemas. Come on.
Yeah, and nobody embarrassed by walking around with an enema bag. Like, not even the kids. They were just like, no, this is what I'm just gonna go get mine ready. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and
Yeah.
They're getting their enemas ready. They're like, oh, I forgot all day. I better go do it before I go to bed. I'm like, okay. That is, yeah, that's pretty epic. That's, yeah. So get yourself an enema bag, join the community, do what you got to do, get in the e-course, and you will have an eternity of gratefulness, because there's that's it's a I can't talk no more. That's it.
That's awesome.
All right, Vadim.
Yeah, well, I personally just loved getting recharged with that mucus-free energy, in the space. And I mean, that just inspires me more to kind of create this space so we can permanently live in this kind of communal mucus-free way, rather than just get together for like a week out of the year and then kind of, hold it until like the next air date to recharge more. So that's kind of what I'm gonna be working on, providing that kind of space to everybody, not just to us, that so people can feel the vibe for themselves. Like, because you can't really describe it. It's a different kind of being, living, situation, and existing situation, I would say, even not so much living. Yeah, so I hope everybody experiences this soon, and we all get together in huge mucus-free spaces, like Brother Air says. 10 square miles of mucus-free space for us practitioners to kind of be in there and
Yeah. Yeah. Mucus free as
recharge
far
off
as
each
the
other.
eye can see.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
basically,
it's a
no
beautiful.
pus and mucus anywhere you can see, like all good vibes. That's it. So yeah, that's my kind of hope for everybody and wish.
All right, JC.
Yeah, man. I think if you can get into the arid days while they're still intimate like this, before they turn into just seas of people, do it. Absolutely do it. This was my first one. And just being able to meet with everyone, the people you see on the Wednesday meetup, the people in the inner circles, changed my life. Having a conversation with Spira changed your life. Uh, and yeah, I couldn't agree more with Ani. Like, I would be so incredibly lost if I didn't have this community. There have been plenty of times where something will happen, and because I'm plugged in with y'all, it's just like piece of cake I can pass through. But every time that happens, I'll sit back and go that would have been it. That would have been the one if I didn't have them. So yeah, keep doing your enemas. That's all I can say.
Mucus-free armor.
Mucus-free armor.
Yeah.
Community
Reese.
shield.
Yeah, can't go green while sucking on a chicken wing. Yeah, I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah.
That's
Can't
a
get
classic
clean without
Spira quote.
yeah, we gotta find an enema
I should
one.
make
Can't
yeah,
get
just make a
clean without
meme,
an
a
enema.
meme with can't go green while you suck it on a chicken wing, Professor Spira.
I'll get Mike to put that on a shirt for me.
Hey, that's
Yeah, I think that we have to add that to the mucus-free dictionary, or like the thesaurus or whatever.
Hmm.
Green chicken wings.
Yeah, but it was a great Arid day. I think it was my favorite one yet. It was my fourth Arid day I've been to, and yeah, best Arid day. Really cool. So, yep.
All right, Brady.
Oh, I'm speechless right now because me and Mike were talking, and it's just like having this many friends who you resonate with this much. It's like if you took me like a decade ago, and never in my wildest dreams would I have like a whole community or even get to experience what a real community is like. So I don't have much to say else, but I can't stop thinking about JC's movie that he's putting together. So I'll see you at the premiere for that.
Let's
or
go.
The next Arid day, but
Yeah.
that's all I gotta say.
Live stream reaction, please.
Well, I want to thank every single one of you. You all made it happen. This was just some ideas that we had years ago, and we try to get things together. And we were just there in the humble beginnings where there was where we were talking amongst ourselves and just broadcasting this information out, and not a whole lot of people really cared at all about what we were saying. But so now it's just really exciting to see so many people really starting to get it and really understand, like seeing the value of this path and doing the work. Doing like, see, everybody in the house got their enemas going, and we got the mucus-free food happening, and some people will fast part of it, and and it's happening so effortless. So it's not a big deal. It's not like hard. There's not people that are all freaking out or weird. It's just like, nah, it's just nice, just effortless, and that's how it should be. When you really do this the right way, there's ups and downs. It's not always easy, but there's effortlessness that should be there when you really start to get a hold of this and understand it and do the work. Practice this at a high level. And so I thank all of you putting this together. Brady, Monica, JC, Annie, Breeze, Miriam, Vadim, Vidya. She had to get off here a little minute ago, but I thank everybody. Thank her. Thank everybody that came to the event. Everybody that supported it over the years. Years ago when we had our first one, we had fundraiser, and there was a lot of folks that couldn't be there, but they donated selflessly, and really they saw we had a vision and something that we wanted to try to develop that was a positive thing that would help people, that would help us, and they got behind it. So all the way back to those early fundraisers and those early Ehret Day celebrations, I just thank everybody for helping to make this happen, contributing in any way that you did, whether it was a donation or maybe you were helped put the program together at some point over the years, you came and spoke or whatever, however you contributed. This is definitely a special thing that I have hold near and dear to my heart now. It was something Brother Hare had to kind of twist my arm a little bit to get it going, because I could see how much work it was going to be when we go back to those first ones, and but now it's
a private retreat.
And we have our standard operating procedures are all in place, and it just happened. It's just like it flows very organically, and so I'm just really thankful to everybody for all the contributions and really making this happen. So and like we say, this is only the beginning. This is we scratching the surface. This is the beginning, and just onward and upward from here, taking things a whole next level. So thank you all, everybody tuning in. Thank you so much. Again, go down below if you want to interested in the coaching program. Click the link, jump on a discovery call with us. Interested in just plugging in with the community. We didn't even mention we're going to be upgrading the Wednesday meetups, so watch the newsletter for that. We're going to start doing some things a little differently and enhance things a bit. So check that out, and share this video and really plug in. Really open yourself up to the vibe. I've been saying, open yourself up to the information, have an open mind. Now I'm saying, open your soul up to this vibe. Just check this out, check the vibe out, as because that's really what solidifies at the end of the day. That's what's going to solidify your practice and really ground you in this practice, is the vibration, the higher vibration that you start to experience when you go down this path, and remove all the slime and the poisonous waste, and get off of the coffee habit and the weed habits and the Burger King habit and the Taco Hell habit and all these different habits that are that are useless, that don't have nothing to do with longevity, don't have anything to do with making you actually feel good. They make you feel high. They give you temporary pleasure, but temporary pleasure, the opposite side of that is long-term pain and suffering and premature aging. And we don't need that. We don't need that anymore, because there's so much joy on this side. There's so much, and I and many of us can speak from having experienced both worlds, because I always come at you from that perspective. I know what the KFC lifestyle is. I know what that is to get this bucket of pus and be excited about it and eat it. But I also know how I didn't really feel that good after it. while I was eating it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is finger looking good. But then 10 minutes after, you're like, ugh, you're not feeling good. And so I know what that is. I know what it's like to want to go to these clubs and get into the club, and you got the lights and the loud music and the alcohol, and trying to live the lifestyle, living the life. Got my little car, I'm driving up, I'm cool. I know what all that's like, and so I can say, smoking the weed and doing the drugs, all that stuff. Know what that's like, and I'm telling you, this is so much. Oh, you say so much better. I mean, it just is not even in the same ballpark. Like, this is how you're supposed to feel. You shouldn't have to take a drug to feel good. You shouldn't have to eat food that harms you to feel good. And you find yourself in that situation, it's a problem that needs to be addressed. And we're showing you a way to address it, a path and a way to address it permanently, easily. Like you say, we deal with the transition. It's not all about trying to get off everything immediately. You transition off of things slowly, and you get into your little periods of your whatever it is that you get your little addictions of your little Lara bars or whatever. But it's way better than whatever you were doing before, and it keeps going. You keep taking it to the next level, and so that's my 2 cents. Get into the Mucusless diet, get into the cleaning yourself out, cleanse. As we said, 2021, clean that ass. 2021, we still that theme carries forward for every year,
always.
And while we move into this epic pus-based period of so-called election season, keep the enemas going, keep the lemon juice flowing. That's going to help you through it. That'll help you through all the nonsense and the frequency. This is going to be a weird frequency this time of the year. Every 4 years when you get into these here in the United States, but people feel it around the world, but especially here in the United States, stuff gets really, really weird, really strange. And so this is a good opportunity to stay into those lemons, stay into that water, stay into the transition, and just keep it moving to get to the other side of this madness. So again, thank you all. Tell a friend, Mucus-Free is the way to be. And until next time, peace, love, and breath.
Peace, love, and breath.
Hey. On cue.
We are Mucus-Free. 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 We are Mucus-Free.